Why do people keep moving the mics around?
I don't know.
That's mic 2 in mic 1 position. Mic
True.
1's over there now. We should check it before. Well, I should check it, but still anyway. Sorry, who was that? Westlife?
That was Westlife. I know you're a big fan, so we don't want to finish off with some Westlife this
Better
morning.
man.
Better
I'm not
man.
a big fan of Westlife at all, by the way. It's fine. Well, I like some of the upbeat poppy stuff, World of Our Own and that.
That is a bit dull, isn't it? Finish off the show.
Okay, folks.
All right.
If you're still with us.
Yes, you're still with us.
See
Cheers,
you tomorrow
Greg.
morning.
Okay, thanks,
Marty.
Greg.
Thanks so very much indeed. Marty Frio back with you tomorrow morning at 6:30. Right, it's 9 o'clock time for a news update. Let's cross over now to Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. The community in Burnfoot have woken up without water again this morning. Local councillor Jack Murray says it's totally unacceptable in 2025. He says the persistent outages are due to 2 vacant caretaker positions in South Inishowen. Councillor Murray says the staff left their roles a month ago and Uisce Éireann needs to replace them as a matter of urgency.
There's businesses closing, there's people being sent home without wages for an entire day, and it's just happening so regularly that people are going absolutely mad, and rightly so, particularly if there's a solution to many of these problems, which is simply that Irish Water would replace the staff that have left. And if they can't do that, I would start to lose faith in that organisation completely. They need to replace the 2 staff that have left, and that would get these problems fixed much quicker, and people getting a water supply that would be just accepted or expected anywhere else.
The overall quality of surface water in Ireland is continuing to decline despite a drop in levels of excess phosphorus and nitrogen in the country's rivers and lakes. The Environmental Protection Agency's current 3-yearly assessment has found close to half of Ireland's surface waters are in unsatisfactory ecological condition. However, improvements in a number of Donegal waterways have been recognised and credited to efforts to better manage sheep diffing practices. Daniel Pitcher reports.
The Catchment Care Project was led by the Lochs Agency and Donegal County Council and ran in the Finn catchment area from 2018 to 2023. The project included surveys to locate sheep dip sites and assess their risk to water quality, landowner questionnaires, an advisory leaflet and a demonstration video promoting best practices, biological, chemical and habitat surveys to target action and strengthen community engagement. Macro and vertebrate communities recovered from a predominantly poor condition in 2016 to mostly moderate conditions by 2019. Between 2019 and 2022, the number of survey sites in the catchment achieving good or high macro and vertebrate status has increased. The suspected toxic impacts identified at 6 of the 26 sample stations on the river in 2016 have not since reoccurred.
Revenue says the local community, who are the eyes and ears on the ground, play a critical role in the Donegal Divisional Coastal Watch Maritime Initiative. A new customs cutter vessel is to be launched shortly in conjunction with efforts to stamp out drug smuggling along the Irish coast. Andrew Ryan, the Revenue's Maritime Operations Manager, says any suspicious activity should be reported.
What we're looking for are merchant vessels that are leaving the shipping lane, merchant vessels that change their course or speed, merchant vessels maybe signalling at night or using VHF communications on VHF working channels to communicate to potential daughter vessels, which are the vessels charged with actually finding the drugs at sea and then attempting to land them ashore.
Looking now to weather, mainly dry and mostly cloudy with patches of mist and drizzle, especially during the morning. A bright few intervals may develop through the day with highest temperatures of 12 to 13 degrees. That's all for now from the newsroom. Back with more at 10 o'clock.
Batch cooking never used to be a thing, but makes so much sense. A little effort up front and you're sorted for the week. Planning your finances? Same deal. What you do now can make your future easier. So visit the AIB Life Hub in your AIB mobile banking app for all the information and ingredients you need on investments, protection and pensions. AIB, for the life you're after. Allied Irish Banks plc is tied to AIB Life for life and pensions business. Allied Irish Banks plc is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Sale assurance DAC trading as AIB Life is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Allied Irish Banks plc is a 50% holding in Sale assurance DAC.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest, the 9 to Noon Show, with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello and a very good morning. Just approaching 5 minutes past 9 on this Tuesday, the 14th of October. You're very welcome along to another edition of the 9 till Noon Show. We've got a really busy 3 hours coming up for you with the usual mix. We'll keep you across all the big stories, not just locally, but across the country and beyond as well. So it's all here for you over the 3 hours. We have some nice features for you, some people to chat to, and of course we want your views coming in throughout the course of the morning, contributing to the show. 086 60 25,000, that's the WhatsApp and the text number, whichever suits you best. 086 60 25,000. Of course, you can send in your WhatsApp voice notes as well. If you want to give us a call, it's 07491 25,000, and if email is your thing, we'd like to get them to comments@highlandradio.com. And if you're listening to the podcast or the overnight replay, and get involved in the conversation, send in your emails or your WhatsApps and we'll pick them up and carry them through to the next live show. And of course, you can watch the show in its entirety on our YouTube app. So that's good for watching on your mobile devices, but also your smart TV or your Fire Stick, if that suits you, wherever you are. We're on our Facebook pages and on the X platform as well. Let's start with a look at the newspapers and just really confirmation of what we knew. And it's just to underline the fact that, and ironically, we were talking about this, I think, on the Friday panel, that the electricity companies are shafting us. We have the highest electricity rates in the entire Europe, as far as I'm aware. And also, to the gap between how much electricity companies are paying for electricity and how much they're charging us is as wide as anywhere. So, listen, this stuff about the infrastructure and the wind and getting it into the system and all that kind of stuff, it seems a bit of nonsense, really. They're just gouging us because they possibly can. I'll read on here in the Irish the Irish Independent. Electricity companies in Ireland are failing to pass on reductions in the cost of wholesale energy to consumers and businesses, a new report has found. So, if you're going, well, why didn't we get the one-off cost of living measures? That was really, much of it was to do with electricity. Businesses out there are struggling. They're struggling to keep the lights on, quite literally, and they're doing so because of gouging. The International Energy Agency found that retail prices in Ireland are 3 times higher than wholesale prices, one of the highest gaps in the world, not just Europe. So what effectively that means, they're charging us 3 times what they're buying it for. The agency also found that the gap between what it costs to produce energy in this country and what it is sold for is one of the largest in the world. The report confirms that Ireland has the highest electricity prices in Europe because we have the largest gap between what it costs to produce energy and what the consumers pay. The disparity in Ireland was the largest, with the energy component of retail prices 3 times higher than wholesale prices, it states. The IEA is a Paris-based intergovernmental organisation that provides policy recommendations and data on the global energy sector. It's made up of 32 member countries. Sinn Féin MP Lynn Boylan accused electricity companies here of price gouging, saying the report exposes a shocking reality. Now, is this not the kind of thing, and maybe I'm being naive or stupid, because one of the biggest expenses we have is electricity. Especially if you have to heat your home as well. We're learning information here. They're charging us 3 times what they're paying for it. We have the widest gap between wholesale and retail in the world, and we pay the highest electricity prices in Europe. Is that not something like the Dáil gets recalled for or something? I know it's sitting, but you know what I mean? That there's some sort of an emergency meeting of the Dáil to say, hold on a second, what's going on with energy prices? How are we, or what can we do to stop our people that elected us being ripped off? Am I naive in thinking that's how politics should work? That someone, some TD, some whatever it is, a committee, makes this an emergency situation with this new information for the benefit of the people, to act on behalf of the people. We can do nothing as individuals. We can't even protest by saying, I'm not paying my electricity, it'll be cut off. We can't sort of say, right, well, I'm going to shop abroad because it's cheaper. We're locked in here. Is this not like some sort of a national energy emergency, or am I overstating it? Because those numbers are crazy. We're supposed to be doing cartwheels because the biggest energy provider is not increasing prices. Well, why would it increase prices when the gap between what it buys electricity for or produces it for and sells it for is it's 3 times the difference? I would have thought this is something of an emergency. But anyway, maybe I'm being naive, or maybe I feel that politics should work in a way that it's just not designed to work. But that's what I believe representing people looks like. Get on a big issue that's important and unjustifiable. But anyway, it won't happen, but you would hope it would. Turns out maybe farmers aren't to blame for all the dirty water, by the way. Because nearly half of all rivers and lakes are in poor state. This is despite the fact that farmers are, to a great extent, cleaning up their act. The water quality continues to deteriorate. Ireland's, this is in the Irish Times, by the way, Ireland's rivers, lakes and estuaries have deteriorated further, with almost half of them now in an unhealthy condition. Just 52% of over 4,000 water bodies monitoring over the past 5 years achieved a satisfactory rating. The other 48% were so polluted, contaminated with chemicals, choked with algae, deprived of oxygen, lacking in species variety, or physically altered and damaged, that they rated below minimal acceptable standards. The data compiled by the Environmental Protection Agency from 2019 to 24 shows a decline in standards from the previous period monitored, 2016 to 21, when 54% were in satisfactory shape. Reading on here, because I want to get to the bit, and it's going to be pretty buried here, where there's less farming pollution in the water, because I think this is quite critical. Dr. Emer Cutter, Director of the EPA's Office of Evidence and Assessment, said the findings were very disappointing. Our rivers, lakes and estuaries are the lifeblood of our landscape and support our ecosystems and our health and well-being, but they are struggling, she said. But as I say, I can't see it in the article here, and I don't have time to read it all through, but in terms of what you might call farming pollution, that has reduced over this time period, but the conditions of our waters as a whole has worsened, which I think is important, because farmers seem to get blamed for absolutely everything. Remember, we talked about the offer of 10 grand per family of asylum seekers to go away, effectively. Well, a letter offering €10,000 per family to asylum seekers to return home has been sent now to all 33,000 people seeking international protection, the Justice Minister has confirmed. The figure is 5 times the previous offer and is part of the government's Get Tough policy on asylum seekers. Get tough. Here's my... How's this get tough? There's money, please, if you don't mind leaving. But you can stay if you like, but there's 10 grand. It's hardly getting tough, is it? But anyway, the figure is 5 times the previous offer and is part of the government's Get Tough policy on asylum seekers, who cost the taxpayer over $1 billion a year in a situation that's added to the accommodation crisis. Those who take up the offer will get part of the money on a prepaid debit card as they're leaving. The rest of the funds will be transferred to them when they return to their home countries. Justice Minister Jim O'Callaghan stressed that the offer would only be made for a limited time and that the top rate is only available for those who do not enter the lengthy asylum appeals process. A sum of €2,500 is being offered to individual people to go home. It's estimated to cost €122,000 per person to process an average international protection application. This includes costs for accommodation and food, social protection payments and healthcare and education. Earlier this month, the government confirmed that it was making a new and improved offer to those in the international application process to entice them to return to their home countries. But I'm not really sure that's getting tough, is it, really? It's like, well, I don't want to make a clumsy metaphor that might sound inhumane. That wouldn't be my intention. Just a little heads up for you, not to worry you, but just to make you aware of what might be going on at home. A teenager suffered fatal brain damage after inhaling the contents of an aerosol deodorant, an inquest has heard. This is the Daily Star. The tragic circumstances of the death of Sarah Meskel, 14, at Children's Health Ireland in Crumlin on September 25th, 23, was heard at a sitting of Dublin District Coroner's Court yesterday. The inquest heard that the second-year student at Colastramora in Ennis, County Clare, died from irreversible brain damage 5 days after she became unwell at her home after sniffing the contents of the deodorant. It was also noted by the pathologist who conducted the post-mortem, Michael McDermott, that there is a long association between the inhalation of volatile substances such as those containing deodorants and a sudden unexpected death. Now, it can play with the heart, obviously, and trigger a heart attack, or it could exacerbate an underlying health condition. And the reason I mention it is that you do see it now and again popping up as a trend on social media. And these things have been around since I was at school. There were other little things. You remember, well, I don't want to say because I don't want to influence anyone, but there was other things that would go viral as you could go viral in the analog days. But it's just in case, worth having a conversation maybe with young people in the house that they might not realise that it can be so tragic and devastating and lead to death or serious injury or brain damage. And as I say, there are little trends that go onto social media plugging this type of stuff. So just as I say, not to be fearful, but just to be aware. The Sun this morning, traumatised hostages bravely smiled through the pain yesterday, tasting freedom at last after their Hamas hell in Gaza. 20 emaciated, wounded and mentally scarred victims of the terror group's cruelty were delivered to their families following 737 days in captivity. Many put on a show of defiance, grinning or making heart signs while draped in Israeli flags amid elation across the country centred on Tel Aviv's Hostage Square. Others ran to loved ones in tears as their historic release heralded hopes of lasting Middle East peace. But Hamas sparked fury by releasing the names of just 4 of the 28 dead hostages due to be handed over, leading to calls for the Trump peace deal's suspension. They did actually hand over 4 coffins, but they have to be, I suppose, independently looked at back in Israel. Yet nothing could dampen the elation as the first 7 freed men, then 2 hours later the remaining 13 were handed over to the Red Cross on the Gaza-Israeli border. And at the same time in southern Gaza, busloads of Palestinian detainees and prisoners, some sentenced to life in Israel, were returned there as well. So listen, we could argue the ins and outs and such and so on, but the less people dying in this world, the better. Now, be careful of this one. It's in the Irish Daily Mirror, and I've got a personal interest in this one, if I'm going to be completely honest. Sneaky scammers are now impersonating Lidl on TikTok in a bid to defraud social media users. Adverts which claim to be from the budget supermarket, as they're described, I don't think they're a budget supermarket, but anyway, selling a range of high-value items for knockdown prices have been uncovered by the Irish Mirror. They include one for the iPhone 17 Pro Max, a Canon camera, an e-scooter and a DeLonghi coffee machine. Now, I was caught out by this. I'll be completely honest with you. I was on TikTok, something I wanted popped up. The price was reasonable but not so cheap that you'd be suspicious, and I was in such a rush I bought it. And I'm going to get the money back from my bank, but it looks the real deal, right? And they say there's a limited amount, and I talk about scams all the time, and we'll probably be talking about scams before the end of this show, but I fell for this one on my life, hook, line and sinker, so just be careful yourselves. The revelation comes just weeks after the paper exposed fraudsters who'd been impersonating Boots Ireland to sell unregulated products that falsely promise rapid weight loss. But these ads, they look legit. You click through, the website looks legit, and they have you by the ghoulies. So just be careful. As I say, I'm only being honest. I got caught out by that one because I was in a rush and I wasn't concentrating and I was multitasking. And do you remember yesterday we talked about how you're more likely to be done in a scam if you're multitasking? Well, that's exactly what happened to me. But thankfully, there is some protections with certain banks. If you pay for goods online and you don't receive those goods within 2 weeks, you can get a refund. So all's well that ends well. Still a bit of a hassle, and it is still a little bit embarrassing, but you know what? If you get done, you get done. All right, back with more shortly.
Newspapers are kindly supplied by Cosgrove Centra, Mountaintop Letterkenny. Now with the new look Mountaintop Diner.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
Discover amazing deals at Floyd's Restaurant, Ballymagori, Strabane. Enjoy a 2-course menu for £19.95 Monday to Friday, Euro for pound night Wednesday and steak night Thursday. Sunday carvery from 12:30 to 3:30. Party packages and function rooms available. Call 02871 382905 to book.
Túr de bhór náir de bhic léin. Is féidir le seirbhísí bus nascáúil TFI atá ar fáil ar fud na tíre, tú a cheangal le réimse lehan choláistí ó cheann na bliana. Sá bháiltar sús le 50 géad ar hálaí agad nuair a bhaineann tú leas as do háta lí TFI désaí óga nó de bhic léin. Túr cuairt ar transportforireland.ie. Is sinna Transport for Ireland. Is muid iompar dit.
Worldwide travel made easy from Donegal Airport. Twice daily Aer Lingus flights via Dublin connect you to Aer Lingus and Qatar's global network. Enjoy a smooth journey. Book now at aerlingus.com and start your next adventure from Donegal Airport.
Angledy returns to On Green on Letterkenny Saturday, October 25th with a brand new show, Further Adventures in Womaning.
Usually, half the audience goes... But obviously, it's a very popular procedure in Letterkenny.
Tickets at ongreenon.com.
If you have a special occasion coming up, Watson Menswear stock a great selection of men's and boys' formal and casual wear. Top casual brands include Mishmash, French Connection, Tommy Bow and Penguin. Formal wear names include Rimazumo, Sixth Sense and White Label, with a special suit deal of a three-piece suit, shirt, tie and shoes, all for only €299. Watson Menswear, open 7 days a week on Main Street, Letterkenny and at watsonmenswear.com.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
The time now, 21 minutes past 9. Now, hospital staff and Gardaí have been accused of failing to take the suspected spiking of drinks seriously after an incident involving the family of a local politician. Now, this is something that comes up from time to time here on this programme, and I think there is sometimes a little bit of eye-rolling, a little bit of disbelief, and it does not surprise me that this might extend, to hospital staff or Gardaí. Councillor Audrey Buckley joins me on the programme now. Councillor, thanks for your time today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, and it is something that's happening all of the time. But there is sort of, I think people are reluctant to believe people who claim their drinks have been spiked.
Yeah, look, and I think, I've heard about people being spiked before, but I've kind of, glazed over it because, when it doesn't happen, something like this doesn't happen to you directly, you obviously have empathy towards a person, but you kind of, it's only when you're in it and you realize how serious and actually how dangerous this kind of behavior is, and that it has to be addressed. Because for myself, family member it happened to, and I was in it 100%, and I just couldn't believe how normalized it was to people saying, "Oh, sir, she was spiked. Oh, sure, yeah, that happens. They come in here all the time." I'm talking about hospital staff, working in the hospital where she was brought by ambulance. Yeah, it was horrific. It was a horrific incident, and it's more horrific that we're normalizing it.
Mm. And it's a crime, right? So there's a window of opportunity potentially to gather evidence, be it a guarded questioning when that's appropriate, but also, bloods or whatever that might be required. Is there a protocol or any protocols in place to gather evidence and treat it as a crime?
Well, unfortunately, no, not far enough. I've been kind of told that there was and there is, but no. I was shouting from the rooftops to get bloods. So first of all, when the person was taken to the hospital by ambulance after one drink in a nightclub, when she collapsed on the floor, thanks be to God, she was with friends. We always tell our kids stick together. In this incident, absolutely. She was with 5 of her friends. They all had the same story. So about the consumption of alcohol wasn't the case here. So the ambulance took the person away. She was blacking in and out. So she got to the hospital. I got there about 20 minutes later. And nobody was seeing her. I was being told that when she was blacking in and blacking out, very upset, saying, "Did somebody touch me? What happened?" And then she'd black out again. So, I could tell myself this wasn't alcohol. There's something in her system. So unfortunately, the scheme of things, the doctor actually didn't physically come and look at her till 5 a.m. But between that, I was getting frustrated. So I did call the guards myself at 2 a.m. for them to come to the hospital to take a statement and to take bloods, maybe because nobody in the hospital was listening to me. I kept asking if they would please take some bloods, because God only knows what was in the person's system. So the guards did come to the hospital, and they were very, kind of dismissive. First off, when was the last time she got into this kind of situation? I was asked. What has she taken? Has she taken stuff before? I was asked.
This sounds like victim blaming, or at least you
Yeah,
could feel like that.
drink. Yeah, terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I was very calm. I didn't want to be thrown out of the hospital, and it was a very serious situation. So I had to be there. I had to be in it for the person. And no, and I asked the guard if they would please take some bloods. And they said, "You're in a medical facility. They will deal with that." And basically, that's all I got out of the guards.
See, I would imagine that there are quite a lot of people present at ED over a weekend who are intoxicated or have consumed something knowingly, right? But
yes, absolutely,
okay.
absolutely.
So this is not for me or you, I suppose. There has to be some sort of a protocol, right? That it's not like the boy who cried wolf, right? So someone who, and we've all done that too, right? Have overindulged or something, or tried something that we probably shouldn't have, versus someone who's been the victim of the crime. I don't know how they figure that out. Is it take bloods from everyone, and then there can be a follow? I don't know. What do you think, Audrey, would be a way?
So I guess after the incident and when everything happened, afterwards, just looking back and thinking of it, I just couldn't believe that. I felt like it was in the twilight zone. I just, first of all, I couldn't believe that this was being normalized, I said, this isn't right. And then I was getting texts from other people. I was meeting people saying this happened to me. And people, anybody I've met, none of them had reported it, because it was something like they went home in a taxi because they didn't feel well, passed out. When they woke up the next morning, they realized that something is wrong, that it wasn't alcohol consumption that did this. So, and what the issues are here is there's no clear process to ensure immediate toxicology testing. When someone puts their hand up, the people that were with the person out, or a parent, or anybody responsible, can just say, I think this person has been spiked. There has to be a protocol or a pathway. I think the person has to be listened to. That was a huge issue. People weren't listening.
Yeah,
they were just assuming, there's and the Gardaí as well. There has to be a structured pathway for the Gardaí when they take a statement, and if they think that the victim is incapacitated, not through alcohol or drugs, but something else, something has to be done. There has to be the pathway then for the drink spiking crime that has probably taken place.
Yeah. So, but what this actually means, though, is that if we have any statistics at all, they're certainly not full in terms of the extent of this.
Absolutely.
And also then we have very little action, information, convictions, and very little deterrent.
Yes, and I spoke to An Gardaí afterwards, people that I work with in the community, An Gardaí, Síochána, and they would love to see a pathway, a protocol, because there's not. I spoke to a friend who's a doctor. She dealt with someone 2 months ago who actually got injected with the spiking. But there's no stats there. That's why I went to TD Seamus McGrath, asking him to bring up a parliamentary question on this to the Minister for Health and the Minister of Justice. And like that, he's asked for a report. He wants to see the statistics of how many people have been spiked. Has there been any prosecution? So he has asked these questions, and he's just waiting back on a response.
Yeah, I'd also want to know then too, you see, because in a way, this person was the victim of a very serious crime, but how many others end up being sexually assaulted or something else happening to them?
Yeah.
And if we don't believe people, or we don't investigate spiking instances, are we factoring in spiking? Are we go to court then, do we, and argue that they did it consensually? We've got no evidence. It's not really treated as it's just compounding then even more serious crime, because people are probably going to be disbelieved further down the track.
Yeah, And I agree. And if you did see somebody in the state that was spiked, you would see the person is incapacitated. They black in and out. So it's life changing for people. If anything happens to them after, it's just horrific. It's horrible to think that as a society, this is where we're at. And something has to be done about it, because just from a small circle of people I know, it's amazing how many people that they have mentioned to me that it's happened to them or to family members,
Listen, there was
etc.
someone
So
not too far from where I'm sitting here today. There was claims of spiking instances in Derry not so long ago. So it's happening all the time. It does come up, and I wonder from division to division in terms of An Garda Síochána, but certainly maybe from hospital to hospital, is there a difference in how these cases are treated?
Well, I do know when the person got their report, they're exiting, the medical report when they left the hospital, nothing was mentioned about, a family member thinks that the patient was spiked. Like nothing was mentioned, and it wasn't like it was asked so many times that bloods were taken, that they thought the person was spiked. So, that's very sad that happens, that people aren't being listened to. And like you said, it's it's life changing for people, and the incidents that can happen because of it is just horrific and life changing. And this is bringing things to the front. I know here in Cork we have Mary Crilly. She's a sexual CEO of a sexual violence centre. She's been pushing it, which I had no idea, previously, because why would I, even, it wouldn't be on my radar. Now it is. So hopefully we'll be working with Mary Crilly and Seamus TD McGrath, and to just bring this further and not let it sit there. Something has to be done. We have to have proper protocols to protect our children when they're out there,
Yeah, indeed. Okay, listen, thanks for helping us spread the word as well, because I am actually definite there are families listening who've been through this, and it can be very frustrating because you're a lone voice then, aren't you, in a awful situation. Councillor Audrey Buckley, thank you for your time. All right, look after yourself. Bye-bye, and best wishes to the person who was the victim of that crime. 086 60 25,000. Unfortunately, I know some of you have experienced this or know someone close to you that has. Maybe you want to share your experience of it. 086 60 25,000. That's the WhatsApp and text number. Or give us a call on 074 91 25,000. Traffic bad in Letterkenny this morning. I'm not sure if there was a breakdown or something, but lots of you texting in. Another caller says, the first caller on this says, traffic dreadful in Letterkenny. I left the house in Glencar at 8:35 a.m. Still at Orchard Pub, High Road 906. It's bumper to bumper. Hi, Greg. Donegal County Council have major questions to answer this morning. They've caused one of the worst traffic jams in Letterkenny history. This, they said, would happen. Works at the hospital causing major disruptions. All over works have to stop now, they say. Right, okay. Another caller says, if we stop paying our electricity bill, then they will bring it down until the people stand together. They can do whatever they like. Don't forget paper roll, not politicians. Look, yeah, but there's no way people can organise themselves to a point whereby it would hit the electricity companies. Firstly, we're across different electricity companies. Secondly, you could have 500 people that do it and they end up banjaxed, right? Their credit rating destroyed and no one else doing it. Refusal to pay is not going to work. Yes, it might feel good, but it wouldn't work. The people in Burnfoot waking up again to no water. Shocking. I often wonder, did the people in the same locality ever get moved into their houses after the bad floods 8 or 9 years ago? Does it only happen in Donegal where people are treated so unfairly? Yeah, you can feel like that sometimes, can't it? Where I live, farmers are very much to blame for the pollution that's happening. There are almost 8 million cattle in Ireland. Where is that waste going? Yes, like all walks of life, there are some good farmers, but a lot of them are reckless in their actions. But the metrics are the level of farming pollution has reduced, but the level of pollution has increased. So, I mean, that's just basic statistics, isn't it?
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from €40,000 to €600,000 with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
What is Vodafone? SIM only. Well, it's the same great Vodafone reliability with unlimited calls, texts and data on the same great Vodafone network for just €25 a month. Perfect when you don't need us to do the phone part. Vodafone. Together we can.
New customers and those switching to our 24-month, €25 SIM-only plan. Each April, the price of your plan will increase by €2.50 per month. Full terms, see vodafone.ie/terms.
As a parent, you always remember the little things, but don't forget the bigger ones. When it comes to child safeguarding, do you know who to speak to in your child's school and clubs?
Under Children First, all organisations working with children and young people need to have strong measures in place to safeguard children. To learn more about Children First, visit gov.ie/Children First.
We were all children once. Now we are children first. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
Brian McCormick, Sports and Leisure Main Street Letterkenny. Just launched at BMC Sports is the new ASICS GT 2014. Offers pure gel technology and FF foam for that springy feel. New range of Kayano, Nimbus and Nova Blast for men and women. In-store and online. Get your safe size experience at Brian McCormick Sports, Main Street Letterkenny. Or click on bmcsports.ie. Get your ASICS delivered free of charge. Christmas Club now open.
Looking ahead to 2026? Now's the time to order your 261 Kia at Heron Auto, Donegal Town. With 5 brand new Kia models arriving, there's never been a better time to upgrade. With smart design, a 7-year warranty and finance starting from 0%, Kia delivers style, comfort and performance you can rely on. Visit Heron Auto, Donegal Town. Secure your 261 model today. Drive with confidence, drive with Heron Auto.
Love great food, fashion and making a difference? Join the team that puts customers first every single day. Just search M&S Careers and start your journey today.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Right, welcome back to the programme. Now, a new Customs Cutter vessel is to be launched shortly in conjunction with efforts to stamp out drug smuggling along the Irish coast. Revenue and An Garda Síochána yesterday relaunched Donegal's Divisional Coastal Watch Maritime Initiative. Detective Superintendent Sean Grant is responsible for serious crime in the Donegal division. So this is a relaunch, Detective. Good morning to you. But what does that mean in essence?
Good morning, Greg. Yeah, I suppose nothing new, Greg. It's really something we've had, an initiative we've had for decades around the country, and really it's just a relaunch and a focus to increase public awareness and vigilance along our coastline. I suppose really a neighbourhood watch, community alert extension to the coastline. And it's what Coastal Watch really is a collaborative approach between the likes of Revenue, ourselves, including our partners in Drugs and Organised Crime Bureau, Naval Operations, Coast Guard and voluntary agencies. So again, I suppose we have 3,000 miles of coastline in the jurisdiction of An Garda Síochána, and again it's just focusing our public eyes and ears on the coastline, looking out for targeting issues such as drugs, contraband and weapons, given the unique location of Ireland on the European frontier.
And I suppose to send the message to those responsible that it is not open season.
Yeah, exactly, Greg. I suppose we have a lot of assistance that we regularly get from our public, and given we have a lot of agencies working along our coastline that feed a lot of information to our island dwellers. We have a lot of farming activity, fisherman activity, boat club members and inland fishery operatives, and again, so by extension, it's obviously very difficult for any agency to keep eyes and ears and watch on 3,000 miles of coastline at any one time. But by extension, tapping into our public help and our agency support, that really helps us to gather a picture of what is happening on our coastline, just in that complex, as I said, that European frontier that Ireland sits at, and just again to send out the message that we're not a safe space for contraband operations.
I suppose in terms of size and range and ability to deal with different weather, you have to keep up with those that are smuggling drugs. And I presume with this new bigger cutter that's coming into operation, you'd hope be able to do that.
Yeah, and I suppose, Greg, you're right. Organised crime knows no boundaries. There's always technological advances. But again, we have had some very recent successes, multi-agency successes in respect of contraband, in particular drugs importation. And again, any additional equipment coming on scene is to target the likes of those continual, I suppose, challenges. But our equipment is keeping with, I suppose, those advances. And again, while organised criminals might not recognise boundaries, a lot of those groupings and criminal groupings represent common targets for a lot of agencies, revenue and Garda Síochána and our coastline services. So it's just trying to that bit of synergy, getting everybody working together and facing the right direction, and trying to thwart that activity.
Obviously you can be out and about and hope that works as a deterrent, but it's a big money game, right? So that means there's big technology involved. Dropping off products with trackers on them and then finding the right time to go and retrieve that and all that type of stuff. So from a technological perspective, and obviously you're not going to give anything away, are there other signs that outside of the eyes and ears of the coastal community and the work of the cutter on the water and the rest of the equipment at your disposal, like, are there ways and means to try and intercept some of these deals or transportations of drugs? Do they use particular frequencies? Is there any advances we can make technologically in that regard?
Well, I suppose even going back to basics, Greg, sometimes it's the simple things that help detect a lot of this activity. And again, you mentioned packages, and again, that'll be part of our ask of people when they're looking out, is to just look for something simple as packages, unusual items in the water. Again, even unusual light activity at night time, general unusual querying about boats and purchasing. So sometimes the simple things detect and indicate that something is not quite as right. And as I said, you're correct. Those sort of higher level intercepts can be used, but I suppose the message of the Coastal Watch is that sometimes it's back to basics in respect of, and if something seems out of place, generally it is. And I suppose the one thing about our local communities, generally they have a good finger on the pulse of what is happening in the community, what is out of place, and it's just trying to put in place a sort of a trusted network where that information can be relayed back to safely and confidentially, perhaps, where people might have a fear of repercussions for themselves. And I suppose that's the main message today, is just maybe trying to emphasise just to our public, just if they do see anything, Greg, and if I may take the opportunity, just again to re-emphasise our confidential line 1800 666 111. That's the Garda confidential line. Obviously, any Garda and any Garda station can take any messaging as well. And again, we have the Customs Drugs Watch number as well with our partners. So, as I said, while we're as multi-agency approach trying to keep up with technological advances, sometimes it's a simple indications on the coastline.
Well, at the end of the day, they could use
not right.
€1 billion technology to get drugs as far as our coastline, but they have to come on and appear on the shore somewhere, and that's the most basic thing. Do we have a sense, obviously, with our ports and our airports being incredibly heavily policed, and there are still people caught trying to transport drugs into the country through those means, and there is a lot of drugs in Ireland. We can't pretend there isn't. How much do we know? What percentage might be landed on our shores or at our piers or what have you?
I suppose, look, it's common knowledge that our shores are being utilised and exploited. And again, if you look at the vastness of the coastline, Greg, it's very difficult to I suppose put a number in respect of that particular aspect. We just happen to live in a particularly unique part of the world. A very beautiful part of the world, but obviously that just given that European extremity that we're at, with an international border within our jurisdiction as well, there is complexity to Ireland. And again, I suppose where there is complexities and policing challenges and policing jurisdictional changes, that will always be exploited by criminal networks. And I suppose that is for collectively for all of us to be agile enough to maybe respond to that. And as I said, we have very good collaborative approaches nationally and internationally, and even European
but
and
the bottom line is
worldwide.
Listen, people living along the coast, they know every movement effectively. They know every boat, who belongs to, what it's doing. That's the vital part of this here. It's the local on the ground information who can help to keep these drugs out of our kids' hands, and not just kids, but you know what I mean. And just remind us of that. Sorry, go ahead, Sean.
Sorry, no, you're exactly right, Greg, and I suppose that is the main message of Coastal Watch. It's just looking for I suppose, a network we've always had in place, just to maybe kind of refocus people on keeping an eye out, and maybe just to have the confidence to come forward us in confidence or otherwise, and let us know, because I'm very strong that people generally have an idea of concerns in their community, what is going on in their community, and maybe things that are out of place. And generally, if something looks out of place, it probably is, and it's just a matter of report that into us. And that might tie into you mentioned about the higher technological capabilities that are available, and any little nugget sometimes can just tie in on a bigger scale.
Yeah, and of course traffic's being monitored, and there are certain indicators and all that type of stuff. All right, that's the stuff that's happening all the time. Detective Superintendent Sean Grant, responsible for serious crime in Donegal Division. From our newsroom, Donna Marie Doherty, she attended the launch of the Coastal Watch Donegal yesterday. A lot covered there. Donna Marie, what was your takeaway from the relaunch?
Yeah, that is pretty much Sean got it covered there in a nutshell. I suppose they really went into how these drop-offs are carried out. So it is carried out between a mother vessel and a daughter vessel, and these mother vessels can be massive. They're like bulk cargo ships. They're very, very huge boats. But the daughter vessels could be something as small as a rib. So they were saying that the way that they carry these out is that the mother vessel won't stop. It will just start dropping these packages overboard. They'll be concealed. And then it will coordinate with the daughter vessel to come by to pick them up. But they were saying that the nature of these is very adaptable. So if something happens, weather or the daughter vessel's unable to, they need to change a boat or something like that, they can communicate very easily to get that adapted and get that changed. And that can be where, I suppose, enforcing it and preventing it can run into a bit of trouble. And they also spoke about it's very easy for them to spoof their location. So that's another kind of, I suppose, challenge that would be faced in there. And then for us, our position on the west of Europe, it's a lot of drugs coming in from South America. I suppose I think there was a fear that Ireland might have been seen as the course of least resistance, but I suppose with the recent successes, they're hopeful now that this will kind of put that message out there that that's no longer the case.
But I suppose that we don't know what percentage the successes are as part of the overall drugs trade. And can they remotely check anything out? Was there anything discussed about how they can track vessels, or are there any indicators that anything dodgy is going on, or is it difficult?
I suppose for Customs and Gardaí, they were kind of keeping it was a press conference, they were keeping their cards maybe closer to their chest.
And give away
that's
their secrets, do they?
That's it. In that regard, but they were saying that this new cutter is going to be a game changer. So it is designated for the southwest and northwest. But the problem was before that previous cutters were kind of coming into issues up around Donegal because we're obviously a lot more exposed weather-wise, and they ended up having to dock a lot and be weathered. So this boat is bigger, it'll be more sturdy, and it has an operations room as well, so it can act as a base while these are being carried out.
And we did recently see, massive amount of drugs washed up, and we didn't know how big that was a couple of years ago. We didn't know, how big of a consignment that was, what went on. Maybe the daughter ship, as you've described it, was disturbed. Was there any reference to those types of instances?
There was. I suppose they were thinking, if to put it in context for us, that was 2 packages that washed up that was worth 4 million. If you think if that was intercepted and the entire contents was there, how much would that have been worth, I suppose, was the way that they were thinking about it. There was no update on those packages, though I was hoping there might have been some sort of development, but that investigation's still ongoing, so they weren't able to comment any further on it.
Yeah, of course. And I think the source of it was identified as being along the lines of somewhere where you mentioned previously, South America?
South America, yeah. I believe it might have been Colombia area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Interesting. Was it interesting to sort of be there?
It was very interesting. So it was, and seeing, I suppose, the different approaches that Customs would have had to it versus the Gardaí. Now it was all very much the same message. And I suppose it was Tom Talbot, and he is the head of investigations and prosecutions and frontier management division with revenue. I don't know how he gets his title out every day. But he was saying, don't take time to mull it over. If you see something, just ring. Yeah. He's like, the currents, it could be, if you ring that in straight away, the whole thing could be done and dusted within 24 hours. If you take half an hour to mull it over, by the time they get there, it could be gone.
Yeah. Wait until
So-
you have to chat to someone at home
Yeah.
and stuff. And I think, obviously there's a multitude of approaches to this, but it's clear from Detective Superintendent Sean Grant, he sees it as critical with everything else that's going on. The community is critical
Yeah.
in spotting what's going on.
That's it. Sure, you know yourself. Even if there's a different car driving around your house, you'll be like, oh, who's that?
Yeah.
And it's the exact same thing.
Brilliant stuff, Donna Marie. Thank you so very much indeed, Donna Marie Doherty from our newsroom.
My Future Fund, the new auto-enrollment retirement savings scheme, is coming. You pay in, your employer pays in, and the state tops it up. It all adds up to a great way to save for your future and something to look forward to. For more information, visit gov.ie/auto-enrollment. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
Meet Louise. She made big savings on her car insurance when she made the switch to Outsurance.
Hi, I'm Louise. It's true, I saved €212 when I made the switch. And with the Out bonus, I'll get 10% of my premiums back in cash after 3 years claim-free.
Happy days. For a competitive car insurance quote like Louise's, call 1-800-600-400 or visit outsurance.ie. Real people, unreal savings. Outsurance. You always get something out. Based on a like-for-like policy comparison, the customer received a gratuity for their participation. Out bonus calculated less taxes and levies. Acceptance criteria, terms and conditions apply. Car and home insurance is underwritten by Outsurance DAC. Outsurance DAC, trading as Outsurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Monster Bingo every Tuesday night at Mulroy Woods Hotel. €3,300 must go with €1,000 on the last page. Doors open 7:30. Bingo starts at 8:30. That's Monster Bingo this and every Tuesday night at Mulroy Woods Hotel, Milford.
You catch them in the corner of your eye, refusing to blend in. An electrifying presence you can't forget. The new Cupra Performance plug-in hybrid range is designed to move you further. With up to 130 kilometers of electric autonomy, you can set your course without compromise. Search Cupra plug-in hybrid today. All-electric range based on WLTP test data. Real-world driving results may vary.
Your local dealer is DMG Motors, Clough Road, Donegal Town. Telephone 074 972136 or visit dmgmotors.ie.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Our Christmas shop has now opened for all your festive shopping needs. Explore our extensive range of decorations, bedding and more in our homeware department, in-store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
So today, mainly dry, mostly cloudy with patches of mist and drizzle, especially during the morning. A few bright intervals may develop through the day, temperatures of 12 to 13 degrees. Now, as you would have heard earlier, the Environmental Protection Agency has said that although there's been a reduction in levels of excess phosphorus and nitrogen in Ireland's rivers and lakes, the overall water quality of surface water is continuing to decline. Dr. Hugh Feely is Scientific Officer in the EPA Water Management Programme. And this is unfortunate, isn't it, Hugh? Good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg. Yeah, so today we launched our report, and the report covers 6 years of data collected over the period 2019-2024 across about 4,000 water bodies. So that includes our lakes, rivers, estuaries, coastal waters and groundwaters. So our results show that 52% of our waters are in good or high ecological quality. So that basically means that just under half, 48%, are not as healthy and resilient as they should be. And this is an overall 2% decline on the last time we published our report in 2022.
Can I be a bit parochial and ask what the water quality is like in Donegal, if you have a snapshot or detail or whatever you might have?
Yeah, so if we look at rivers in Donegal, so we've about 195 river water bodies in Donegal, and if we look at changes there, so 118 are unchanged, which pretty much means they haven't improved or declined. We see 42 of them have improved, 35 of them declined. So overall, we've seen a net improvement of 7 water bodies. But if we look at Donegal overall, so the national average is 52%. Donegal is just below that at approximately 45%. So Donegal is below the national average in terms of how its rivers and water quality is doing. And then briefly, if we look at lakes, so we have a total of approximately 29 lakes in Donegal, and we've seen a net improvement of 3 lakes across those water bodies.
So when we talk about, say, for instance, a reduction in the likes of, stuff that could be attributed to farming activity, and we then see sort of a continued disimprovement, is that across the board? So in other words, sorry to such a basic question, are we talking averages here, if you know what I mean? So do you average it across the entire country? Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're talking on a national basis because I suppose this is a national water quality report. But I suppose it's important to point out that each area will have local issues, and even within a county like Donegal, the urban areas will have there'll be urban pressures around wastewater discharges and urban runoff. But out in the countryside, there will be other issues relating to nutrients where they're being used, but also pesticides like sheep dip, which can be quite a large problem in areas like Donegal.
All right, and what do we need to do? How can we reverse this trend?
So I suppose there is some positive actions, like you say, so we are seeing some improvements, but what we need to do is fast-track this and upscale it. And last year, the Department of Housing, which is the Department over Water in Ireland, released a water action plan with 200 actions across the country. So we need to see these implemented. But we also need to see the Nitrate Action Programme to deliver reductions in nutrient losses. We need to see accelerated and sustained investment by Uisce Éireann to improve their wastewater treatment plants. And we need to look at how we're changing the physical shape and of our rivers and our lakes, because this is having a major impact as well.
Okay. Hugh, thanks for your time. I do appreciate it. That's Dr. Hugh Feely there, Scientific Officer in the EPA Water Management Programme. Right, before the news at 10, how would you like something for free? We've got a giveaway in association with Donegal Airport. We've teamed up with our friends there and Aer Lingus to give one lucky listener the chance to win 2 return flights from Donegal to Dublin. So all you have to do is head over to our Facebook and Instagram pages and check out our pinned posts and follow the directions there. Discover direct flights from Donegal to Dublin and Glasgow by visiting donegalairport.ie. It is officially the world's most scientific landing. The winner will be announced on Monday the 20th of October on social channels. Please be aware, any fake accounts on social media, there's nothing we or anyone can do about that, unfortunately. But we will make the announcement formally on the page. There'll be no DMs or any sneaky tactics like that, and no links to click or anything, okay? But it's your chance to win 2 tickets for free. You don't really have to do anything. You don't even have to text us. All you have to do is go over to the Highland Hub Facebook page and the Instagram page. There's a pinned post there. Follow the direction, and you could be in with a chance, or you will be in with a chance to win 2 return flights. I don't think I've flown from Donegal to Dublin yet. I actually don't think I have. I have flown from Donegal Airport before, but I don't think I've ever actually done the Dublin flight, believe it or not. Okay, anyway, you've got your chance to do it if you've never done it before either. Just go to our Highland Hub Facebook page and our Instagram page. Right, we've got lots coming up after 10, including Community Garda information, that and so much more besides after we take a break for the news and obituary notices.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
At Hidden Hearing, we believe you should keep hearing it all. Keep dancing. Keep celebrating. Keep laughing. Keep being you. Call 1-800-370-000 or go to hiddenhearing.ie and book a free hearing test today. Hidden Hearing. Your hearing is our expertise.
It's the Donegal Creameries Milk €500 cash splash. We're giving away €500 in cash every week. Scan the QR code on promotional packs of Donegal Creameries Milk and you could be making a splash with €500 cash. Pick up special packs of Donegal Creameries Milk in store to find out more. Terms and conditions apply. The €500 cash splash with Donegal Creameries Milk.
The Peugeot sales event is here November 1st to 9th with fantastic offers on the Peugeot electric and hybrid range, including the 2008 SUV, Fastback 3008 and spacious 7-seater 5008. Enjoy a €500 Dunnes Stores gift card, a 5-year unlimited mileage warranty, and for electric cars we'll add a free 3-year service plan and a home charger. Order your 261 Peugeot today at McGinley Motors, your main Peugeot dealer in County Donegal. Terms and conditions apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your presidential candidate, Charlie's Chip. Vote for someone who's hand cut for the job and will bring a fresh approach to the table. A candidate who supports all buns, sauces and salads equally and will ensure better takeaways for everyone. If there's one chip that can change your future, this is it. Let's fry for a better future. Vote Charlie's Chip for president. Charlie's, open Tuesday to Saturday, Pierce Road, Letterkenny.
You can make your home more energy efficient, lower your energy bills and increase your home's value with an SSE Electricity Generation Green Home Upgrade. Our SEAI registered one-stop shop takes care of everything, from full home retrofits to individual upgrades, like insulation, heat pumps and more. We'll even handle your SEAI grant applications and project manage the works, so you can sit back and relax. Learn more at sseelectricity.com/home upgrade. Grants offered are provided by the Government of Ireland through the Sustainable Energy Authority of Ireland.
McGowan Hearing, one of the longest established audiologists in the Northwest, now have weekly clinics in Letterkenny, Buncrana and Carndonagh. Book your free hearing aid consultation at one of these clinics or with audiologist Darren McGowan in your own home. Call 07191 00208 or visit mcgowanhearing.com.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, I'm Michaela Clark with the news at 10 o'clock. The Taoiseach says Ireland will keep an open mind about sending peacekeepers to Gaza. Ireland is pledging €6 million in aid to the region as the peace deal takes hold. All 20 remaining living hostages held in Gaza have been released in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. The US President met with world leaders in Egypt yesterday to sign off on the deal. Taoiseach Simon Harris says the government will keep an open mind about what role Ireland could play.
Being honest, I think it's too premature to determine that answer at the moment. The depth of conflict in the Middle East is so real. We've only had a ceasefire for a matter of days. We still have a very, very long way to go and maybe a lack of clarity on next steps around implementation. But Ireland always keeps an open mind on these issues, and we will in the time ahead.
The Donegal Divisional Coastal Watch has been described as a neighbourhood watch of the sea. The multi-agency initiative, relaunched yesterday, aims to prevent and detect the importation of illegal drugs by promoting the importance of vigilance among those living in coastal communities, as well as those working with a wide range of organisations and agencies at sea and operating along the Donegal coastline. Chief Superintendent Gresham Sheridan is appealing to the maritime community in Donegal to trust their instincts.
Yeah, it's that, and people that are living along the coastline that are seeing stuff at sea as well. They have a certain local knowledge, I suppose, that they can, that they know that's not right, what's happening there, and they might just have to phone and, it might be nothing, but at least it's worth exploring.
The Taoiseach has ruled out a price cap on energy prices, saying it would be too crude of an approach. An international report has revealed Ireland's retail electricity prices are 3 times higher than the wholesale prices. This is one of the highest gaps in the world, according to the International Energy Agency. Micheál Martin admits electricity prices are expensive, but doesn't think price caps are the solution.
I don't know. I think cap would be a very crude method of doing it. I think we do need to engage with the companies on this. The regulator is saying that there is no evidence of price gouging. That's what the regulator has said in its assessments. We do know there are more deep-seated structural problems underpinning our market, and we have to deal with those.
People in Burnfoot are said to be at the end of their tether as they're now in the second day without water. Councillor Jack Murray claims the solution to the issue is simple. However, a lack of resources is hampering efforts. It's understood there are 2 vacant caretaker positions in the area. Councillor Murray says these roles need to be filled as a matter of urgency.
There's businesses closing, there's people being sent home without wages for an entire day, and it's just happening so regularly that people are going absolutely mad, and rightly so, particularly if there's a solution to many of these problems, which is simply that Irish Water would replace the staff that have left. And if they can't do that, I would start to lose faith in that organisation completely. They need to replace the 2 staff that have left, and that would get these problems fixed much quicker, and people getting the water supply that would be expected anywhere else.
Improvements to water quality in Donegal have been attributed to better sheep dipping practices. However, the latest report from the EPA has found that the overall quality of surface water in Ireland is continuing to decline despite a drop in levels of excess phosphorus and nitrogen in the country's rivers and lakes. Around half of the country's surface waters are in an unsatisfactory ecological condition. Daniel Pitcher has more.
The Catchment Care Project was led by the Lochs Agency and Donegal County Council and ran in the Finn catchment area from 2018 to 2023. The project included surveys to locate sheep dip sites and assess their risk to water quality, landowner questionnaires, an advisory leaflet and a demonstration video promoting best practices. Macro and vertebrate communities recovered from a predominantly poor condition in 2016 to mostly moderate conditions by 2019. Between 2019 and 2022, the number of survey sites in the catchment achieving good or high macro invertebrate status has increased. The suspected toxic impacts identified at 6 of the 26 sample stations on the river in 2016 have not since reoccurred.
Weather now today will be mainly dry and mostly cloudy with patches of mist and drizzle. A few bright intervals may develop with highest temperatures of 12 or 13 degrees. That's all from Highland Radio News for now. We'll be back with an update again at 11 o'clock. Until then, you can keep up to date with the latest local news on our website at highlandradio.com. Good morning.
The obituary notices this Tuesday morning, October 14th. The death has occurred of Matthew George Pearson, known as Georgie, Craigavduz, St Johnston. Georgie's remains are reposing at his home today from 10 a.m. and from 10 a.m. tomorrow before the funeral. The funeral will leave from his home tomorrow at 1:45 for 2 o'clock service of Thanksgiving in St Columba's Church, Craigavduz, followed by burial in Toughboyne Parish Church Graveyard, Carrigans. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu to Craigavduz Church and the Irish Cancer Society. Care of any family member or Terence McClintock, Funeral Director. The death has occurred of Susan Duffy, Nee Peoples, Dunmore, Carrigans, County Donegal. House private, please. The funeral cortege will leave her residence on Thursday morning at 11:30, proceeding to St Baithin's Church, St Johnston for 12 noon Requiem Mass, followed by burial in the adjoining cemetery. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu, if desired, to the Oncology Unit, Letterkenny University Hospital. Care of any family member or Kelly's Funeral Directors, Refoe. The death has occurred of Brian Richard Park, Millbrook, Ballyboe, Rathmullen. Brian will repose at his late residence Millbrook, Ballyboe, Rathmullen today from 2 p.m. until 9 p.m. Funeral from there tomorrow, going to St Paul's Church of Ireland, Ramelton for 2 p.m. service of Thanksgiving, followed by interment in St Joseph's Cemetery, Rathmullen. Family time, please, on the morning of the funeral. Family flowers only, please. Donations, if desired, to Friends of Letterkenny University Hospital, the We Care Food Bank, Market Square, Letterkenny, care of Pascal Blake Funeral Directors. Bus service will be provided to and from the Wake House, leaving the Water's Edge, Rathmullen from 3 p.m. until 9 p.m. The death has taken place of Rita Graham, Nee Moore, 4 Choir Milford, formerly of Main Street, Dunfanaghy, reposing at her home today from 12 noon until 10 p.m. Funeral leaving her home tomorrow afternoon at 1:15 for service in Milford Presbyterian Church at 2 p.m. Burial afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. Funeral service can be viewed on Patrick Sweeney Funeral Director's Facebook page. Family flowers only. Donations, if desired, to the Respiratory Unit, Letterkenny University Hospital, care of any family member. A bus will be provided from Milford GEA grounds for those attending the wake between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. The death has occurred of Bridie Devine, Nee Laverty, Lat Convoy, reposing at the family home. Funeral from the family home tomorrow morning at 10:20 for Requiem Mass at 11 o'clock in St Patrick's Church, Crossroads, Killygordon. Interment afterwards in the adjoining churchyard. Family time, please, between 10 p.m. and 12 noon and on the morning of the funeral. The death has occurred of Seamus McNulty, Main Street, Stranorlar, reposing at the home of his daughter and son-in-law, Debbie and Ollie Reid, Carrick McGrath, Ballybuffet, today from 12 noon until 10 p.m. Funeral leaving from there tomorrow morning at 10:20 via Millbrae for 11 o'clock Requiem Mass in the Church of Mary Immaculate, Stranorlar. Interment in Stranorlar Cemetery. The Requiem Mass will be streamed live via the parish webcam. Family time on the morning of the funeral, please. The death has taken place in Scotland of Teresa Coyle, mother of Father Francis Coyle. Funeral Mass this morning in the Church of the Sacred Heart, Carndonagh at 11 o'clock, followed by burial in the adjoining cemetery. Requiem Mass can be viewed live on the parish webcam. The death has occurred of Anne Madden, Nee Quinn, Lockwell, Moy Cullen, Galway and Fintown, Donegal, reposing at a Resi Funeral Home, Moy Cullen, County Galway, this evening from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. Requiem Mass will be celebrated for Anne on arrival to the Church of the Immaculate Conception, Moy Cullen, at 12 noon tomorrow. Burial afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. You can view the Requiem Mass on mcn.live. Family flowers only, donations if desired, to the Irish Motor Neuron Disease Association. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Fearing the weekly shop? Your money now goes even further with our new Aldi Price Drops. Fill your bag with your faves, fresh wraps, pesto, maybe pancakes? You know, good food, the bits you need, and the treats you deserve. Then head to the till, check the bill, and breathe. Save even more with Aldi Price Drops.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com.
Yes, many of you experiencing the traffic in Letterkenny this morning. Traffic insane. They need to rethink this immediately. The traffic is bad every morning, not only this morning. The Port Road is especially bad. It's bumper to bumper out the dual carriageway and Lurgy Brack. But obviously, listen, I mean, you have a major population area. You've got people going to work, school, students. Of course, there's going to be traffic. The only reason we're mentioning it this morning is because those who use the roads regularly are noting a increase in congestion. Avoid the Leck Road in Old Town. The traffic is crazy. We've not moved in 30 minutes. I don't know what's going on. Now, I don't know precisely when that text came in. Hopefully, it has eased somewhat. We were talking about drugs and the new the relaunch, if you could describe it as that, of the Coastal Watch, really, in terms of, trying to intercept drugs before they make sure, or as they make sure. Don't forget air as well. There's small planes travel to Donegal but don't land and have their transponder off. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. I often hear planes above my head, and the first thing I do is go and get out the app to see what it is. And I haven't come across one yet that didn't appear on the app, if that makes sense, but I'm probably not on a flight path. In terms of the environment, I blame the use of weed killer for water contamination. Every house garden and also the council are constantly spraying. There should be a campaign to encourage natural products like salt and baking soda, etc. I mean, it's going to be a factor. Is that going to contribute to the level of poor water quality? I'm not sure. You'll probably know more than that than I do. In terms of cost of living, normally competition reduces the cost of a product, but regarding electricity prices here in Ireland, it's had the opposite effect. Privatisation, once again, has turned an essential product into a luxury, and the government has totally failed the people once again in favour of multi-millionaires. And the government have said today they're not going to be putting any price caps on. But as I said a little earlier on, and I wasn't joking, this is a big deal, and I think it's something of an emergency, and I think it needs to be treated like such by our politicians. They are absolutely creaming us in terms of the profits they're making on electricity. They are buying it at €1 and selling it for $3, effectively, something along those lines. We have the highest electricity prices in Europe, and we've got the biggest margin between what they're paying for it and selling it for in the world, or one of the biggest in the world. So don't talk to me about investment in infrastructure, and don't talk to me about green energy and renewables. It's all we ever hear about, yet we are paying massive electricity prices. And of course we feel that when we get the bill for 3 or 4 or 500 in the post as a residential customer. But try running a hotel throughout the window, or a bed and breakfast, or a calf, or what have you. They're paying massive prices too. And as I said earlier on, are we supposed to be, thanking them for not raising prices? How could they raise prices when what they're paying for it is falling? And yet there seems to be no intervention, no oversight, no influence from the powers that be. It really is quite annoying, I must say. People keep calling them Palestinian prisoners. Most of them have been picked up from the streets, thrown in prison without trial. A lot of them children or doctors that spoke out against genocide. I would call them hostages as well. I called them I reference them to detainees and prisoners. So there you go. Why would we give families €10,000 to leave Ireland? They'll just come back again for another 10 grand. What's the point in that? says a listener. We have had no broadband in Carragart since the storm. I've been in touch with my broadband provider 4 times, but to no avail. Has anyone else got the problem? So put this out there. If there was a widespread outage in Carragart, I would have expected to have heard it on the show at this point. I do note that the broadband was out in Downings and while the power was off in Carragart, but when the power returned to Carragart, the broadband returned to Downings. So I would have presumed Carragart would have been reconnected at that point too. But anyone in that area, is your broadband out, or is this an isolated problem? It sounds to me like it could be isolated, but I'll wait to hear. Back to migrants. Good morning. Why oh why is our government not prioritising Irish people before offering tens of thousands to economic migrants? I cannot get my head around it. We're in a humanitarian crisis with crumbling homes. Our health system is a shambles. Our kids are dying waiting on surgery. Why is this okay? Why? They are making us hate migrants, they say. Please do what we can. Put us first. We've done our bit. Well, it's about how money is spent, right? So if you look at the figures, less than 1% of the entire budget in Ireland is spent on migrants. So what is spent annually? Migrants account for about 1.6. There's a contingency a bit higher than that, but it's not always dug into. So our budget's something like 120, 130 billion, and the spend on migrants is so it's just over 1% of the entire budget. That's including international protection applicants, Ukrainians, the housing, medicine, and everything. So it represents about one and a bit % of the entire budget spend. So surely that 1%, and I'm not justifying it, it's up to you to have your own opinion, but that 1% isn't the cure for the 99% of the rest of the spend, is it really? It's what that 99% is being spent on. If they give €10,000 to a family and they head back home to wherever they came from, you know, it costs €122,000 to process someone through the appeals process. So arguably, is it, if they do take it up and don't return, that would be seen as a saving to the taxpayer of over €100,000. So I think really, you know, the government's in control of 100% of the budget. 99% of it is not spent on refugees and Ukrainians, yet that 1% seems to get the blame for why the government can't fulfill a promise to sort out the scoliosis backlog. Do you know what I mean? Because we're thinkers now. I'm not saying what the right way to think is. I'm just giving you the actual sort of figures. The reality is that 1% of the entire budget of the country is spent on direct provision, as it's called, or whatever it's called now, and all that type of stuff. So it's the 99% how that's spent. That is a serious problem there as well. Right, let's take a break. Garda Grania is going to join us very shortly with Community Garda information, but here's the bingo numbers for this Tuesday.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Tuesday the 14th of October. You're playing on the brown sheet for the daily prize of €600. The reference number is S7. It's game number 42. The numbers are 68, 90, 53, 15, 39, 79, 87, 6, 24, and finally 16. Phone your claim to 9104833 before midnight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland bingo information at highlandradio.com.
Residential property owners, time is running out. You need the valuation band of your property and to submit your local property tax return by the 7th of November. The easiest way to submit your return is online through My Account, Ross or the LPT portal. For more information, visit www.revenue.ie/LPT or call 01 738 3626 if you need assistance. Submit your local property tax return today to ensure you don't miss the deadline.
To all fearless tradesmen and business owners of Donegal, this Friday, October 17th, iMotors invites you to Snugborough, Letterkenny. Join us from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. for free breakfast and coffee. Check out our commercial vehicle range and grab your free safety pack. Buy a new Nissan Primaster or Interstar and get €1,000 to fuel up or tool up. Pre-order before December 23rd for your chance to win €10,000 exclusively at iMotors.
iMotors, fearless generation.
Hello, it's Joe Duffy here. I've been fortunate through my work with the National Lottery to meet some extraordinary good causes, from boxing clubs, wildlife conservation to community cafes. Did you know National Lottery players raise over €4.5 million every week for good causes all over Ireland? And that's all thanks to you, the players. You made this possible. Support responsibly. Average figures based on 2024 financials.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today. The Community Garda information slot is brought to you by Sheridan Security Systems, monitoring homes and businesses in the northwest for intruder, fire, panic and medical signals. Call Sheridan Security on 91 26025.
It's Tuesday the 14th of October, just approaching 20 minutes past 10, and we're in studio now with Garda Grania Doherty from the Letterkenny Garda Station. Grania, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Greg.
Great
Thanks
to
for
have you
having
in. Right, lots to get through, lots of information and plenty of appeals, and we'll start with assistance needed from the public in relation to an assault in Letterkenny.
Yes, this alleged assault occurred at Lower Main Street, Letterkenny, in the early hours of Saturday the 11th of October in and around 3:07 a.m. A male in his late teens is believed to have been assaulted by another male at that location around that time. The injured male attended Letterkenny University Hospital to receive medical treatment as he had sustained injuries, but thankfully none of these injuries were life-threatening in nature. We're appealing to anybody who might have witnessed this incident to get in touch with us. And secondly, if anybody travelled at Lower Main Street with a dash cam in and around that time, we're asking them to make the footage available to us. The dash cam footage is always invaluable. For all of our investigations, we're always making that appeal. Any relevant information should be passed to Letterkenny Gardaí on 9167100.
This time a daytime assault in Ballyshannon.
Yeah, so we're very hopeful now somebody might have witnessed this one. It happened during the day, all right, yeah, in around 1:30 p.m. on Friday the 10th of October, and it happened in the area of the Market Yard, Ballyshannon. So this incident occurred during the school lunch break, and a male student from a local school was walking at that location when it's alleged that he was approached from behind and assaulted a number of times by a fellow male student. So the injured male attended Sligo University Hospital to receive medical treatment, and he didn't sustain any life-threatening injuries again, thankfully. We're appealing to anybody who may have witnessed this incident to contact Gardaí in Ballyshannon on 071 985 8530. And again, if anybody travelled with a dash cam in that area around that time, please make that footage available to us.
Yeah, and because it was daytime and it's a busy area, that info's out there. It's just a case of people letting Gardaí know. And of course, thankfully, not life-threatening injuries, but serious enough that required a hospital visit. Criminal damage, this time in Donegal town.
Yes, Gardaí are seeking assistance from the public following this incident of criminal damage. It occurred in the car park at St Patrick's Church in Donegal town on Friday the 10th of October between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. So a car had been parked up between those hours at that location, and the owner returned to find that the passenger side all along, from front to back of the passenger side, had been keyed. So considerable damage was caused to the car. We're appealing to anybody who might have relevant information to contact Gardaí in Ballyshannon on 071 985 8530. And of course, this goes for all of our appeals today. The Garda Confidential line, it can be contacted on 1800 666 111.
OK, criminal damage this time in Ballybuffet.
Yes, this incident happened in the area of Meenavoy, Ballybuffet. So between 8 p.m. on Friday the 10th of October and 11 a.m. the following morning, Saturday the 11th of October. Damage was caused to a timber fence at a house at that location between those times, and tractor marks were visible along the grass verge off the laneway into the house beside the damaged fence following the incident. So we're appealing to anybody who may have witnessed this incident or who has any relevant information to contact Gardaí in Ballyshannon on 071 985 8530.
These pop up from time to time these instances where a fence or a wall is damaged and someone leaves the scene. And I think I recall you stating the last time that's quite a serious thing to do, isn't it? It's not just an inanimate object; it's someone's property, and you've damaged it, and it really needs to be reported.
It does, yeah, and it's usually cars that are involved, and maybe look. We'll give this person the benefit of the doubt. They were on a large piece of machinery here, a tractor, and it is very possible that they didn't realise that the damage was caused to the fence. So, even to farmers, to tractor owners, if they were in that area, and if they were reversing in a driveway, and if they could check their tractor just to see if there was any damage caused to it, and contact Gardaí themselves. Okay,
now information in relation to criminal damage, this time in Inishowen.
Yeah, this incident happened in the area of Linsfort, Buncrana, between 8 p.m. on Saturday the 11th of October and 11:30 a.m. on Monday the 13th of October. So a number of garden lights at a property in that area were smashed between those times. So we're appealing to anybody who might have observed any type of suspicious activity in that area between those dates to contact Gardaí in Buncrana on 932 0540.
Right, to our draw now, and this is a theft incident.
Yeah, and this is actually something that happens regularly too, and it's a sad sort of incident to see, anything concerning local community groups and these community groups are run solely by volunteers, so this is what happened in this instance. It's a theft incident, and it occurred at Hillhead, Ardra, between 5 p.m. on Wednesday the 1st of October and 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday the 8th of October. So a shed in that area belonging to a local community garden group was entered. The lock was broken in the shed to gain entry. A mobile gas ring and connector were then stolen from within the shed. So we're appealing to anyone who might be able to assist with relevant information to contact Gardaí in Ballyshannon on 071 985 8530. Incidents like these are soul destroying for these volunteers.
Because they've broke the lock, they've entered without permission. And what if they've stolen something they make the tea on, maybe?
Yeah, and it might be something small to them, but that could be crucial to that group. They're volunteers. And
excellent. Whoever did that, cop yourselves on, leave it back. Right, now, this is an incident we covered on the programme on Monday, and of course it was mentioned at the time that Gardaí were taking it seriously, and of course, why wouldn't they? So this is the fireworks incident over the weekend.
Yeah, so this happened on Saturday the 11th of October at around 8:15 p.m. So Gardaí were alerted to the fact that approximately 6 youths who were wearing dark clothing, they had their hoods up, and they were igniting fireworks at the main street in Buncrana. They were gone upon the arrival of Gardaí, and were appealing to anybody who may have witnessed the incident or who may have dashcam footage from that area at that time to make contact with Gardaí in Buncrana on 932 0540. And of course the CCTV from the area will be checked, and I know Gardaí have spoken to a number of witnesses already, but anybody who hasn't spoken to Gardaí already, please, we're asking them to do so.
Now let's reiterate that this is crazy. You could lose your hand, lose your eye, you could seriously injure somebody else, but even having fireworks is really quite a serious crime. So just run us through, because we are approaching Halloween, and it's important that ignorance can't be used as a defence. Here's the information.
Yeah, and I think too, especially in a case like that, perhaps the youths are not aware of the injuries that are sustained every year by people, and also the massive penalties that are attached. So Halloween is approaching, so we're urging anybody who's thinking about buying or using fireworks to please have a rethink. Many horrific life-changing injuries are sustained at Halloween and the run-up to it, the weeks leading up to it, by fireworks. Fireworks are not only dangerous, but there are severe criminal penalties for anybody who is found guilty of the offence of igniting an illegal firework, throwing an ignited firework at a person or property, or possession of illegal fireworks for sale or supply. So these penalties are fines of up to €10,000 and 5 years imprisonment.
And I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I'd imagine if this were 15, 16, 17-year-olds and they had the fireworks in their parents' house, you know what I mean? Like, Gardaí would be looking at the parents of that instance. I'm not sure how responsible they might be or not, but that could come down on the owners of the property.
Most
potentially.
Certainly, yeah. Well, it would be the owner of the property that would be liable.
Right,
that if it's found on their property, they would be held responsible for it, of course. Yeah.
So, what role do the public have in any then in relation to fireworks being spotted, sold in the Republic, or up for grabs on social media or what have you?
Yeah, and look, we're not silly. We're not. We know this is happening. It's happening all over the place. So we're asking the public to please make us aware. If you come across fireworks for sale, or if you come across any type of antisocial or illegal behaviour in the run-up to Halloween or at Halloween, please alert us immediately. Gardaí can be contacted on a 24/7 basis in Letterkenny on 9167 Milford on 9153060, Buncrana on 9320540 or Ballyshannon 071 985 8530, and always call 999 or 112 if it's a case of an emergency.
All right, okay. Now it is deer rutting season, so we've thousands and thousands of deer all over the place. But at certain times of the year, they take part in other types of activities, and that means we can see more of them on the road. So what is the advice there?
Yeah, and I was talking to the roads policing, some of the roads policing unit members, and that are on the night shift, and they've said that they have noticed in recent weeks that the deer they can jump out at any, especially the Barnes Gap area was one area that they did mention to me, but I know it's happening all over Donegal. So we just want to make people aware it is deer rutting season. We're advising all road users to be mindful of that fact, just to watch out for deer on the roads. The breeding season, or rut, that peaks during the month of October and is controlled by the length of the day. So deer can pose a danger to road users at this time due to their unpredictable nature. Take extra care when you're driving, especially at dusk and at dawn. So during the rutting season, deer move about. They can often make their way onto the roads, so be prepared. Ensure that you're always in a position to stop suddenly. Should you encounter deer on the road, reduce your speed, especially in areas where there is a warning sign for deer. Should you see a deer on the road, dip your headlights, as the full beam could cause them to freeze in your path. And if you're involved in a road traffic collision involving deer, or if you witness such an incident, please contact Gardaí immediately.
It is one of those things that we see the signs all year round. And they're there all year round, obviously, because they're never present danger. But October, particularly this time of year, we're more likely to see them, and those signs really kick in.
And just other areas as well. I'm aware of an area down around the crossroads, especially that a road that I would travel on, and a deer did jump out of a forest area one day. Now there's no sign in that area, so just don't rely on the signs either. Just always be aware and take your time.
All right, so we are heading into the winter season. Operation Thaw is there, isn't it? What's going on? What can we look out for?
Yeah, Operation Thor. So it commenced, the winter phase of it commenced on the 1st of October. So this is an annual increased enforcement operation. It's aimed at preventing burglars from exploiting the reduced hours of daylight. So residential burglary rates tend to be higher in winter time. The shorter days and the longer, darker nights provide more cover, and it makes it easier to break in unnoticed. And it can also make it easier to see if a property is vacant, if a house is unlit, maybe at night time. So there's a number of steps that can help protect your home, whether you're at home or going out. Turn on some lights, and the LED bulbs are more energy efficient than the traditional bulbs, and they're brighter too. Use timer switches, motion detectors, lock all doors and windows. Use a house alarm, store keys away from windows. Don't keep large amounts of cash or jewellery in the house, and always report suspicious activity or vehicles in your area to Gardaí immediately. It's amazing the amount of people that are leaving their doors unlocked. I think maybe it's a country thing. I shouldn't blame the country people, but
no, it is. It is because it's been handed down to us, and I think we're a little bit behind towns, because towns obviously maybe became more security aware before those of us living in rural areas did. Do you have to lock the door all the time? Do you have to lock the shed? Can you leave the keys in the car?
Yeah, well, we have had a number of burglaries recently within Letterkenny too, within the town. I'll be fair to the country people now. But where burglaries did take place, and the house might have been unlocked for maybe 5-6 hours at a time, and the burglary occurred during that time. So just please always lock up.
And it's a toughie, because you don't want to blame anyone, but it's just to try and get us to adjust our behaviour. And also too, what we're seeing is, and what we've seen a trend of lately, I'm not saying it's a trend, but vacant properties, people going for copper. It's only a matter of time before we're talking about oil burners and oil again, isn't it really?
Yes. From this time of year onwards, there usually is a rise in the reported burglary. So please do keep your house locked up, keep your keys away from windows, never keep cash in the house. There's also a large amount of people that keep massive amounts of money in their house. Put it in the bank, get it out of your house.
And the funny thing is, we think we're different, but there's a few places people put cash, like an empty Weetabix box in the cupboard or something.
Always the same.
Or one of those sugar coffee tea, and they put it in the coffee one. You know what I mean? But these burglars know all of the hot spots.
Well, they get in and out. They're in and out in a matter of 2-3 minutes, so they know the hot spots. Yeah. They come and they go, and they get what they came for, so they know the hot spots to look for.
Yeah.
So just don't leave large amounts of cash in the house. These hiding places are well known by burglars. Keep the money in the bank.
And that's residential, but I mean, obviously too, there's the commercial element of it too.
There is. So we're just advising anybody, whether you're a homeowner, a business owner, and if you are conducting a review, which is advisable, conduct a review regularly. regularly of your security measures. And if anybody is considering conducting a review, if they need advice, they're welcome to contact Sergeant Fergus McGrory, who's the Divisional Crime Prevention Officer in Letterkenny. Contact him on 9167100. He'll be happy to call out and to assist them and to advise them about security measures.
Yeah, and Fergus was on with us last week, and unfortunately I had a slight technical error. I didn't get that uploaded, but I might still do, because there was a lot of useful information in there, so I might do a double this afternoon. Yeah. We did mention Coastal Watch. I know it's been scribbled out, but we didn't get all the numbers and stuff. So do you have those? We got a confidential line, don't get me wrong, but there's actually a plethora of numbers there.
There's
for
a few
people
numbers, useful numbers.
I'm sure you're going to stick them up on the Garda Facebook page if you haven't already.
They're up. I have them up last night on the face. And I know the superintendent was here earlier chatting about Coastal Watch, so I'll not read all that out again. But Coastal Watch is a multi-agency initiative involving in Garda Síochána, the Irish Naval Service, and Revenue's Customs Service. It was relaunched yesterday, Monday, the 13th of October, in Killybegs at the Coast Guard Station. So I'll just give you the numbers really, because you've spoken about it this morning already. Members of the public are encouraged to report any unusual activity right round the coastline to any of the following numbers.
So that's like unauthorised landings, landings in remote areas, strange objects in the sea, ships where you wouldn't normally expect to see them, ships signalling from out at sea, or under steam without lights on. These are all telltale signs.
Any vessels operating at night without lights, anything like that. Yeah, this is all on our Facebook page. As you said, crews making landings in remote areas. And listen, anybody living along the coastline will know if it's suspicious.
Exactly,
they're used to being there. They know what usually comes and goes, and it's no harm. It's like I heard Chief Superintendent Sheridan speaking at Coastal Watch, and it's like she said, nobody's wasting our time ever by ringing us. If you do think something's suspicious at sea, if you're living along the coast, you see something, it's worth exploring. Contact us, let us know, so it can be checked out. So members of the public are encouraged to report any type of unusual activity on the sea or around the coastline to any of the following numbers: the Customs Drug Watch confidential free phone number 1800 295 295, the Garda confidential line 1800 666 111. Of course, the emergency number is always 112 999. The Naval Operations Centre 021 486 4707, or any Garda station. And these numbers are all up on our Facebook page.
Lovely stuff. Thank you for all of that, Grania. I do appreciate it. That's Community Garda information for this Tuesday, the 14th of October 2025. It's back with you after the 10 o'clock news next Tuesday. Grania, again, thanks very much.
No problem.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com. The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Seasonal loans now available for Christmas. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Dunnes Stores is making dinner easier with brand new options like our delicious breaded chicken range. Choose from wings, bites or crispy tenders, all 100% Irish and available in flavours like southern fried or hot and spicy. Any two for €10. Or try our new ready meals with dishes like turkey meatballs and tomato ricotta pasta or Thai chicken curry. Any two for €8.50. Plus, you can save more with your €10.50 voucher. Dunnes Stores, always better value. Terms and conditions apply. Vouchers can be used on next grocery shop.
Darren knows these roads. He knows every turn, every tree, every person's house. He knows when he wants to put his foot down. But here's something he doesn't know. He doesn't know that Jim is searching for his phone and has taken his eye off the road, just around the corner ahead. Darren doesn't know this. But they're both about to find out very quickly. Even if you know the road, you don't know what's coming. Say no to speeding. A message from the Road Safety Authority. Visit rsa.ie.
If you are a victim or survivor of sexual violence, you do not need to suffer on your own. Help is available to you. We spoke to Niamh from the communications team in Coon about supports available to all victims of sexual violence.
There are state services available throughout the country. These include specially trained units of An Garda Síochána, sexual assault treatment units, the Legal Aid Board and the Court Service. Full details of all state and non-state supports are available on alwayshere.ie.
If you are looking for help and support in relation to sexual violence, contact your local Sexual Violence Support Centre on 1800 448 844.
Sweeney's Late Night Pharmacy in Letterkenny are celebrating their first anniversary with great offers in store. Boost your immune system with savings this week on natural supplements and probiotic remedies, all with gentle organic ingredients. Sweeties Late Night Pharmacy at Crossview House, Port Road, Letterkenny. Open daily until 8 p.m, Fridays and Saturdays until 10.
Join us in store at McElhinney's department store this Saturday 18th of October from 1 p.m. for our Heritage Redefined event and the official reopening of 3 of our departments with live music, exclusive discounts, giveaways and more. We hope you can join us as we begin a new era at McElhinney's this Saturday from 1 p.m.
Now, 3 ATU Donegal fashion graduates took part in Ireland's first ever official fashion week. The graduates were Emma McKinney, who's actually in studio with me, Bray Zhang, who's going to be joining me remotely, and Holly Marie Gallagher. The landmark graduate show took place on Friday, the 10th of October. Emma, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you for having me.
Right, so what was how did you come to be part of this?
Yeah, so I studied fashion in the ATU in Letterkenny, and there was just a bit of buzz on social media about Fashion Week eventually coming to Ireland. And at the start, I didn't really think much of it. I was like, oh, there wasn't any big word about it, so I didn't think too much. And then I kept hearing it everywhere, kept seeing it, and I was like, I may as well apply and see how it goes. And I got an interview, and the rest.
So at that point, did you have to present work or your ideas, or was it just they backed you and says, right, do whatever you want to do?
Yeah, so we had to fill out an application form and submit a few pictures of work that we've previously done and kind of share a few achievements and stuff that we've worked on and just prove that we were capable of kind of presenting something on a stage.
And how then big of a lead-in did you have to the actual show itself from being accepted into the competition or into the event? Like, how long did you have to prepare for the fashion show?
Yeah, we found out around, I think it was the end of June, start of July, that we got a spot, and we had a few boot camps along the way to make sure that we were kind of keeping up with the tasks and everything. And so we had a few months just to get everything sorted.
But those months go quick too, don't they?
They do, yeah, they definitely do.
What did you go for then? You're going to have to paint the picture now for us.
Yeah, so I was very inspired by my hometown, Donegal. I think the landscapes and the colours and the scenery is just beautiful. So I went for really textural kind of pieces. I worked with McNuts of Donegal, so I got remnant tweed from there. And I also got leather from a local bag and accessory maker in the town, Orlavera. So I wanted to keep it quite local with my materials. And I'm also quite sustainable in everything I do. So all secondhand materials, all slow fashion. So I would say my work is quite kind of quirky and fun. My brand name's Maniac, so I think there's a bit of kind of
organised chaos there.
Yeah, basically.
Right? Okay,
I kind of work on like a less is kind of... Yeah. Less is a bore, I suppose. So I always loads of colour, loads of texture, loads of mix of materials and layers. So yeah.
Brilliant stuff. What's your feelings about fast fashion?
Yeah,
because it's everywhere, right? And
I suppose
now it's online, and people are ordering 6 or 7 items at the same
Exactly.
time, and they're so cheap sometimes they don't even bother sending them back.
Exactly. It's more of a it's just so accessible that people think, sure, why not?
And
It's
we're
only a couple
churning
euro.
through it, aren't we?
Yeah. I think there definitely does need to be a change in terms of how we consume fashion. I think there will be a lot more people going the second hand, renting clothes, buying off other people, making their own repairing garments rather than buying fast fashion, because there is so much in the media now about how damaging it is to consume so much fashion.
And we don't pick up the cost of it really. All this stuff is dumped in landfill in Africa or something. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
We're not seeing it. So
okay, stay where you are, of course. Bray Zhang. Bray, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Very good. Where are you now? You're in Donegal, are you?
No, I'm currently at work. I'm on my break. I work at Hunter Apparel Solutions in Derry.
Fantastic stuff. Right. So, how did you get involved in fashion design?
So I suppose with fashion design, I was always a creative. Ever since I was young, it kind of. The idea of when you start off and you know how to dress, you kind of pay attention to details. That part did come naturally, but prior to joining the course at ATU, I didn't actually have sewing experience, so it was definitely something new to me. But I kind of knew it in myself that it's something I could learn.
And talk to me about you getting involved in this fashion show then, because you have you have worked in fashion for quite some time, haven't you? You've been involved in other shows before.
Yes, I have. So during my 4 year period studying at ATU, I did a year abroad in Paris. So during that year abroad, I was lucky enough, I was fortunate enough to do my internship at Paris Fashion Week. So I had prior Fashion Week experience. I kind of knew, to a big scale how it would work, what the schedule would be like, and kind of how demanding it is. So it was definitely something that I looked forward to. Just like Emma, we heard about it through our lectures, I think originally. And it was just an application process and then interviews, and yeah, that was basically it. That's how I heard about it, and that's how I got into it.
All right, talk to me about your presentation, your work.
So my work is actually quite the opposite of Emma's actually.
So you're not Maniac.
No, I'm not a maniac. No, my work is definitely more on the ready to wear, kind of the more craftsmanship. I have a background in tailoring. I did my work placement with Rory Duffy, Master Savile Row Tailor. So that part comes apparent. For my collection for Ireland Fashion Week, it was a waterproof two-piece trench and pleated trousers. So the the theme behind that was our theme for the show was the Irish Sea, and I think a lot of people took that literally. There was some designs of maybe like jellyfish or something direct, whereas for me, my work's always a little bit more on the philosophical side. So for me, what made it so personal was I'm also from Donegal, I'm from Letterkenny originally, and obviously our conditions, our weather conditions are a little bit more harsh in the northwest. It rains a lot, unfortunately. So for me, it was very important to make a garment that was functional, that was able to protect the wearer from the elements outside, and something that's designed for everyday wear that most people, I would say, hopefully, most people like it.
Now, Bray, obviously you've got good attention in the space. Your name is out there now, and can you achieve what you want to achieve in fashion based in the northwest of Ireland? Is it a case you need to go to a London or a Paris or a New York, or can you make the waves and have the impact or the influence that you might want to based out of the northwest of Ireland?
That's a very good question, Greg. I think if you were to ask me this question a couple of years ago, I probably would have said no. I probably would have said it would be the case that I have to move abroad to a bigger city, to more of a fashion capital. But things like Ireland Fashion Week happening and the opportunity it gives us as graduate designers, straight out of university, definitely opens up more opportunities. That being said, I think the marketplace and the exposure you get from being in a bigger city and the networking you get to meet different people. I mean, when we were down in Dublin, the amount of people we met from not only in Ireland, all over Ireland, but even from London, from Paris, it was unbelievable. So I think to get to the stage I want to be at in my career, I think I still do have to move abroad, unfortunately, or at least to a bigger city.
Yeah, I get the impression you're happy where you are now, but when you kick into overdrive, you're going to have to clear off somewhere else, if the truth be told, right?
Unfortunately, it might be the case, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll watch on with interest, Bray. Listen, thanks for giving up some of your break to chat to us. Well done, by the way, on what you're achieving. And Emma, this is your career, fashion, isn't it? And that's where you see your future.
It definitely is, yeah. That's the dream anyway.
And you are, how do you progress that, right? So you've got your brand.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make that into a business if it's not already? Is it sort of selling one-off pieces? Is it sort of designing something that's produced on a greater scale? Is it commissioned pieces? How does it work, or how do you see it working?
Yeah, so I suppose for myself, I don't want to go the producing a lot of the same thing. I always source my materials from like charity shops and the likes of, like I said, remnant materials from local designers themselves. So I want to do the more one-off, unique.
Yeah.
It kind of creates more of like what would you say?
Well, it's a buzz, and if something's unique, it becomes more attractive, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's something more special about having something and thinking.
And also, there's something more special about having something no one else can have.
So I think I'm going to just continue doing what I'm doing. I've had some good feedback from the show. So yeah, I think social media is going to be a great help for myself, promoting
For sure. And I think the materials that you're choosing to use are always in fashion as well.
Exactly.
You know,
they
like
never
your
really
tweeds
go
and your
out.
wools and leathers, and
Yeah.
especially if there's a story behind it.
Exactly.
All right. Well, listen, we wish you every success. Have you got a social media space at the moment?
I do, yeah. I'm posting away on Instagram, so I have a few bits up from the show and
Cool.
from my graduate collections and everything. So it's Made by Maniac on Instagram.
All right, okay. So you are the maniac.
I am the maniac.
Well, you don't come across as a maniac, but anyway.
No, definitely not. Maybe if you look at my design, just
Right,
see.
okay, yeah. So it's
see
not
that side.
it's not a personal declaration.
No,
okay.
definitely not.
Well, listen, Emma, keep up the great work. What does this mean now for you? Sort of cracking on. Do you sort of now say, right, I've done the local fashion show, if we could put it like that, although it's national. Can you apply to events in London or France or where Paris or wherever it might be? There might be other hotspots I don't know of.
Definitely, I think they do get people in as well, like other smaller creators. So it's gonna be something I'm gonna be on the lookout for.
Yeah,
now
because
in
your
the future.
platform now is you've got that behind you now, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's only up from here. I hope.
Exactly. Listen, brilliant stuff, and it's great to see local people doing well, and also too, with a philosophy sort of. We didn't get Holly Marie Gallagher. Do you know Holly Marie?
I do. Yeah, we studied together
What's
in the
she
college.
like?
Sorry.
What's her style?
Her style, she's very out there, very kind of bespoke.
Okay.
Her brand name is Dare to Howl.
Right.
So she does kind of big, extravagant pieces, more kind of avant-garde.
Lots of spikes.
Very interesting. Definitely check her out. She's
Excellent.
very
All right.
cool.
Okay. So check them all out. Bray Zhang, and it's interesting that you have your own identities,
We
isn't
do, yeah.
it?
We're all
it's,
so different.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, we all studied in the same place, but we all came out with
Yeah,
such
because
different
that means
styles.
what they're doing is they're not trying to pigeonhole you. They're looking at what you're good at, what your creative, great
Exactly.
creativity, and harnessing that.
Yeah, the lecturers in the college are great at that. You
All
know.
right, well done. Listen, I've spoken to a few fashion graduates now, and they've got nothing but good things to say about the course out of Letterkenny. All right, well done, Emma. Thanks so much for calling in to us. It's lovely to have you in. It was great to chat to Bray Zhang, who joined us from Derry on his break, and well done to Holly Marie Gallagher, also from Donegal, or from the region anyway, who was part of that fashion show. All right, back with more after the break.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
It's the Right Price Tiles wood flooring and bathware 70% off sale. Get up to 70% off all your purchases. Up to 70% off all tiles, all wood flooring, all bathware. Everything's reduced in store. The 70% off sale at Right Price Tiles, wood flooring and bathware. Stores nationwide. Sale extended until Sunday.
If you need an eye test, look no further than Louis Walsh Opticians. Letterkenny's longest established opticians are delighted to welcome patients new and old to their state-of-the-art practice in the Courtyard Shopping Centre. Their latest technology includes a 3D OCT retinal camera, which assesses the health of your eyes in minutes. Private, medical card and PRSI patients welcome. Call 91 21000 to arrange your eye test.
Louis Walsh Opticians, Letterkenny. Your vision, our focus.
Discover Centra Simple Savers, your go-to for great everyday value. Like selected meats, like Irish beef meatballs 360 gram, any 3 for €10. Centra soft quilted toilet tissue 18 rolls, $5.50. And Moretti 12 bottle pack, €16. Enjoy simple prices on all your favourites. Centra, live every day. Enjoy alcohol sensibly.
It's Cabaret 25 at Harvey's Point. We start again on Wednesday, September the 3rd, and every Wednesday until November the 5th. An amazing lineup of stars, gourmet food, the warmest of welcomes, and all in the beautiful surrounds of Harvey's Point on Lough Esk, Donegal Town. Book today 074 972 2208 or harveyspoint.com. The Harvey's Point Cabaret, a night not to be missed.
All innovative, all inspiring, all yours. Discover the Audi 261 range with Audi All Access at your local dealership. Join us at our nationwide open house event from October 17th to 24th and experience exhilarating test drives, unmissable offers, and exclusive product upgrades. Book a test drive with Audi All Access today. Audi. Vorsprung durch Technik.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhinney's. Our Christmas shop has now opened for all your festive shopping needs. Explore our extensive range of decorations, bedding and more in our homeware department, in-store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
So today will be mainly dry and mostly cloudy across the region with patches of mist and drizzle, though they're pretty much clearing at this stage to leave a few bright intervals developing through the day. Temperatures 12 or 13 degrees with light easterly breezes. Okay. Once again this morning at 5 a.m, says a listener, I met a group of cyclists in a group out for a cycle. Yes, they had lights and reflective gear on, but in the dark at this time of the morning, it's a huge road safety issue. Why are the Gardaí not having a word with this club and advising them against this in the winter? In the summer, I've no issue with it. They're using the road, though, and they've got all the high vis on, and I suppose there's a responsibility between them, and they seem to have fulfilled their responsibility, and us as drivers sharing the road with them. I'm not sure the Gardaí have any place in advising them one way or other, to be honest with you. They seem to be, even by what you're saying, doing the right thing, although at 5 a.m. Greg, I wouldn't want to be a guard, but I haven't been stopped by a checkpoint in years, other than campaign yesterday being us to be the eyes and ears, as was previously found. Where are the guards? I have noted a number of times sitting with blue on stationary. Is this a checkpoint? Go to Portugal, to One Horse Town, see the president's presence very evident, police and GNR. I don't know what the story is there. I have concerns for my teenage children regarding spiking, says a listener. I find it rampant in our area. Surely they can bring up the CCTV. Do the people in the premises have a responsibility to people who've been spiked? Every week I hear of someone's daughter being spiked. Every week I worry that it'll be my daughter next. Well, like, even if the CCTV is available, you know, you're talking often very, very busy places, and things can be placed in drinks very surreptitiously. I think the biggest protection we have is to guard our drinks. If it's a bottle, keep your thumb in the lid. If it's a glass, there was a period of time whereby there were these little items that you could put on the top of the glass so someone couldn't drop something in. I think that was a bit of a fad and not the long-term solution. But I suppose we have to advise our children, you know, to always have their drink with them, because, as I say, if someone is of a mind to secretly put something in a drink in a busy bar, or even not in a busy bar, it could be very difficult to sort of conclusively determine what had happened. You know, I was using an image a little earlier on, and it was someone hovering their hand over a drink and releasing a tablet, you know, one of these stock images, but that's not how it's done. You know, that's not how it's done at all. In relation to the traffic, Greg, the people that are complaining about the traffic congestion in Letterkenny, the same people that put the same parties back in power at the last election, although they know there will be no change to roads or general infrastructure. I'm going to have to say one thing. Fianna Fáil voted against the 4 lanes, and Fianna Fáil voted against active travel plans for Letterkenny because they didn't believe it to be the right work at the right time, and that is the party that's in power. So I'm not contradicting you, but just if I do have the info, I do kind of need to get it out there. Hi Greg, for more than 46 years the people of Gweedore have been promised a proper sewage system, yet nothing has been delivered. It is shameful that in this day and age a community should still rely on nature's mercy, with rivers, streams and heavy rains preventing the place from becoming unbearable. Without them, the pollution and stench would be intolerable. It's a disgrace that despite so many councillors and politicians living in the area, few have had the courage to speak up or demand real progress. The people of Gweedore deserve better than empty promises and ongoing neglect. And thanks for your kind words about the programme. Staying with the environment, and what about all the sewage going into Donegal Bay from every town and village on the coast? Sewage is running into the water streams in Ramelton for years and nothing's been done to stop it. That is, of course, part of the problem. Caller says the money used for migrants would be better used towards our hospitals and housing our homeless. We're always going to have a responsibility to, we cannot build a wall around Ireland. There is always going to be a level of migration. As I said earlier on, it's a little over 1% of the total budget, but if you believe that would be better spent on housing and hospitals, then of course that's your point of view. A caller says the only way to reduce electricity prices here is to have one supplier state-owned as it used to be. Yeah, we were told more competition, lower prices. It couldn't be further from the truth.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from €40,000 to €600,000 with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
Autumn is alive with a kaleidoscope of colour, nature and adventure at National Trust NI. Unwind and relax with a crunchy leaf walk through Llewellyn Garden. Sample the finest seasonal food at Florence Court's Harvest Fair. Gaze into the majestic mirror-like lake at Mount Stewart. And breathe in the beautiful garden at Castle Ward. Or delight with frightful fun on one of our trails this Halloween half-term. Come along and make wonderful memories this autumn. Search National Trust NI today.
Consider tantalising, tasty turkey meatballs. Oof, Aldi, you're teasing us. Come on, cooked in the tray. Just pop it in the oven. Handy. Or what about beef teriyaki? That sizzle. And then there's succulent salmon with garlic and herby butter. Lovely. The only thing that could make that better is chips. Great value, tasty and handy too. Now you're cooking. Aldi Ready to Cook range. Prepped by us, cooked by you.
She's the Queen of Country and Irish, Margot, live in concert. Catch Margot with the Ryan Turner Band Wednesday the 22nd of October at the Mount Errigal Hotel in Letterkenny with special guests Shinny Cramsey and Damian Davis. Tickets available now at the hotel reception. Call 07491 22 700. Join Margot at the Mount Errigal Hotel October 22nd for an unforgettable evening of music and memories.
Who's watching your home while you're asleep, at work, or on holiday? With the Sheridan Security Alarm System, you can be assured of round-the-clock monitoring. Our central monitoring station is on duty 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, monitoring homes and businesses in the northwest for intruder, fire, panic, and medical signals, giving you the peace of mind you deserve. Sheridan Security Systems, Bonagee, Letterkenny, protecting what you value most. Call us for a free quotation on 9126 6025.
Granny, did you hear what I said?
If you've been saying, what was that? A bit more lately, it might be time to have your hearing checked. At Connect Hearing, we don't just fit hearing aids, we help you hear life again. From tiny in-the-ear styles to Bluetooth connected devices, we fit the best solution for you. Call 074 911 3296. Connect Hearing, connecting you to life.
With all the stories that matter across the Northwest, it's Greg Hughes on the 9 to Noon Show on Highland Radio.
Okay, coming up, we're going to be speaking to two of the recipients of the 2025 Tip O'Neill Irish Diaspora Awards. It's taking place this Friday. Looking forward to chatting to Danny Hutton and Vincent Keaveney. But first at 11, let's get a news update and cross over now to Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Gardaí have launched an investigation after a student was allegedly set upon from behind from another student. The incident took place on the market yard in Ballyshannon at 1:30 during their school lunch break. Both students involved are male. The injured boy attended Sligo University Hospital to receive medical treatment for non-life-threatening injuries. The Cooperation and Working Together Partnership has launched a €7.9 million Peace Plus funded early intervention support youth hubs project. The Cross-Border Easy project is aimed at providing early intervention support to 9,000 children, young people and families living in the border area with social, emotional or behavioural issues. Gardaí are reminding the public of the dangers and legal consequences involving fireworks. It follows an incident on Saturday evening at approximately 8:15 of reports of around 6 youths in dark clothing lighting fireworks on Main Street, Buncrana. They left when Gardaí arrived at the scene. Garda Grania Doherty appealed on this morning's Dental Noon Show for more information, and she also warned of the horrific life-changing injuries that occur at this time of year because of the devices. And she also warned that if young people bring fireworks home, the homeowners will be liable. Donegal has been found to be one of the safest counties in Ireland. According to an analysis carried out by Long & Co., the county has a safety score of 0.68, making it the 5th safest county in the country. Roscommon has been named the safest with a score of 0.77. Gazan health authorities say at least 6 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli fire in 2 separate incidents. Earlier, the Israeli military said it carried out a shooting after it claimed several suspects crossed the line of the withdrawal in Gaza. The IDF says it constitutes a violation of the agreement and attempts were made to distance the suspects. And finally, presidential candidates Heather Humphreys and Catherine Connolly have clashed in the latest debate of the campaign. Both candidates spoke about what themes of their presidency would be and whether they'd come into conflict with the government if elected. The candidates also clashed over whether it was appropriate for Catherine Connolly to hire a woman convicted of firearms offences at the Special Criminal Court to her Dáil staff. That's all for now from the newsroom. Back with more at 12.
Thank you very much, Donna Marie. And of course, sorry, I've got my names mixed up. Danny Hutton was already a guest with John Breslin last week, and Vincent Keaveney's the other mentioned name. I'm going to be speaking to, and I'm delighted about this, Eileen and Sean Donoghue. They are recipients also of the Tip O'Neill Irish Diaspora Awards for 2025. They're going to be joining me in under a minute.
Deirdre, when you're picking your kids up at school, will you get mine too? I've run out of petrol and my insurance doesn't have breakdown assistance, so I'm stranded here. Don't tell the kids that though. They'll never stop slagging me.
Real life, written by you, underwritten by Allianz. Get covered with breakdown assistance and 15% off car insurance policies at allianz.ie. Allianz plc is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Standard acceptance criteria, minimum premiums and terms and conditions apply. Breakdown assistance is an optional extra. An additional premium applies.
Yeah, so we're really pleased to have in studio with us now Eileen and Sean Donoghue from Rasheni, is it? In Rasheni, in Ballyliffin and Cockhill Buncrana. Eileen, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Greg. Good morning,
Sean,
everyone.
thank you so much for joining us. And I just want to put this on the record right from the beginning. These are joint recipients here because you've been getting a wee bit of extra praise, Eileen, and I'm not it probably is justified, right? But you are a couple getting this wonderful honour.
Double trouble.
You have been in Australia for how long?
36 years now, Greg.
No accent changes at all.
You reckon?
Well, right. Well, you reckon?
How you go?
Come here. Did you just go over together? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the two boys as well.
Right. We backpacked for an idiot for a year, which was an unknown in those days with 2 kids.
And how long were you heading over for in your mind?
1 year, just so Sean could get it out of his system and then come back and we'd live happily ever after in Donegal again.
But that didn't happen. Right, Sean, what happened?
We all fell in love with Australia.
Yeah.
And then we came back and we just made the move back on 91.
Sold our house.
Sold our house.
And it's amazing how quickly the time goes in. Are your family based over in Australia too?
No, just us guys.
Just you?
Yeah, our family, but nobody. We didn't know anyone when we went out there first.
Yeah, okay. A big move then, because, you know, we kind of think about it now slightly differently. 34 years ago, Sean, like, you know, we didn't have Zoom, we didn't have this, that and the other. I mean, 34 years ago, one of the treats on Gay Byrne's show was connecting people on a phone call from Australia and Ireland. You know what I mean? That's how sort of separated it was. It was a big decision.
Big move.
I remember, Greg, when I went there first, because, you know, we had a mortgage and the kids were at a Catholic school, which we had to pay for. I used to put on the egg timer for 10 minutes. That's what I could afford, $1 a minute. It was $10 for 10 minutes. And I hated to see the sand going down, so I knew I had to get off.
Yeah. How difficult was it being away from home?
At the start, when we went back as our residents, at the start it was very difficult because, you know, my mum would write to me every Friday when she would go up and get her pension in Ballyliffin, and I would sit down and read the letter, and it was like, you know, news at home, and you just want to be there for that time, but you couldn't, you know what I mean?
And which was worse, the sort of good news or the indications of, you know, Aunt Vera's just not too well this weather or something?
I lost my
lines?
brother and when I was 36, and that was really, really hard because I was sick myself at the time, and I never told my family, and I couldn't come home for the funeral. Yeah. And that was the worst time of my life, to be honest. Then my mum died 3 months later. So that year was 1996, and I'll always put it down to a very good, bad year, but... Like everything, you know, you just get on with it, like, you know, but it's just tough.
I think bereavement is more difficult the further removed you are from it. When you're there, you kind of process it and things, but, you know, when you're far away, it's a helplessness and all that kind of stuff. Sure. Sean, what was the plan? You know, I know you talked about a year, right? But, you know, when that year passed, what did you say, right, this is what we're going to do as an income here. This is what we're going to do to make our life here.
Yeah, well, we all agreed when we came back from Australia that we all wanted to go back out. And then when we arrived out, it was just so easy to get a job as a chef. It was just, there was hundreds of chef jobs. And Eileen just fell into employment as well, and the boys, everybody loved it. So it was easy, you know. Nobody wanted, it was just a big adventure. We went travelling at the weekends and different style of life and barbecuing. And
I think the word you used there, easy. You know, life can be tough, and everyone was landed on their feet, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, honestly, Greg, it was meant to be, because when you do that big move and you take that leap of faith and you lose, you know, you leave that fear behind you, and then everything just slots into place. I really do believe that.
Mm.
Yeah, but you have to give life, sometimes you have to give life a chance to drop into place too. You have to make big decisions, brave decisions, don't you? And then,
yeah, my mum, she came out to Australia 14 times while we were there. She loved it. She was the jet setter.
Right, brilliant. And she just loved the weather and the fact that you were all happy. And as a mom, right, so you getting on and being
we
happy,
had the
that makes her
restaurant,
happy.
and she used to go out in the sun, sit out the back, and she would sit up at, we call table 9, which is the top of the restaurant. The customers used to come in and go, "Who's that little Greek woman up at the top?" she was brown and black.
And when did you start the restaurant then? How long did it take to get that off the ground?
94, April 94.
Yeah, we were in a catering business before that. We just started a catering business.
Right, okay.
Catering for all the, the associations, dinner dances and stuff, something similar to here. And there wasn't that there in Sydney, so we filled a niche. And then gradually we probably, succeeded enough, so we had enough money to buy the restaurant.
Mulligan's.
Yeah, in Sydney. It was only one kilometre from the GPO.
Right.
So it was a beautiful building, and I love energy in buildings, so I picked this building and it served us good. And then we ended up buying the building, which was amazing. Wow. So again, luck had it. We worked hard, didn't we, Sean?
I was going to say, you didn't buy it with luck. You obviously had to graft.
And we worked hard. And our first person we ever employed, because I never employed a person before, Greg.
Yeah.
And her name was Mary Daly from Cork. And she stayed with us for 25 years, would you believe?
Wowzers.
And she's looking after her dogs at the minute when we're here.
Wow.
And she's like a daughter to us now. We love her so much. And all our staff stayed with us a long time. So we're very blessed,
And
Greg.
we had Daniel for the opening night.
Did you
Daniel
really?
Came, yeah.
It's amazing. And we all know who you're talking about. And you only have to use one name, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like Dolly and Madonna and Daniel.
Do you know, Greg, Daniel O'Donnell taught me to be very grounded. And we didn't have any money, so I was honest and upfront with him when we opened the restaurant. And he said, just be a success for Donegal. And I hope, Daniel, we lived up to that, because he is the most amazing character, and he taught me a lot of where I am today.
And Sean, why was the restaurant such a success then? I mean, obviously graft is it, but I mean, is it, what kind of food were you doing? Were you trying to play?
Most and Irish cuisine, but we filled a niche for the Irish community. Like, we were doing traditional food, and everybody was coming on.
So it became a hub then?
Yeah, homemade bread, just like Donegal now, just beautiful food.
Yeah.
And I wanted to welcome everybody into I wanted everybody to welcome them in, Greg, because no matter where you're from, I went to the door and said, "Good evening, welcome to Mulligan's," and I felt that they left all their inhibitions at the door.
Yeah.
Whether they were stressed or they weren't sure, or and a lot of people, I could gauge whether they wanted to talk or whether they wanted
space.
So that presentability, I think you have a gift to do that, and I think I didn't realise I had that gift. But also Sean's food, I have to say, Greg, is fantastic. I mean, he had steak with Guinness and champagne sauce, and everybody used to love it. Slowly braised lamb shanks, boxty pancakes with an apple and cider sauce, things that he used because he was French trained, and he amalgamated into the Irish thing. And of course, I made up all the names because I've kissed the Blarney son a few times, Greg.
On your honeymoon.
Because Australian people used to come to us all the time, right, Greg, and they'd say, "We've been to Ireland, Eileen, but we've never found the Castlebar pie or the Dingle pie or Mammy Mulligan's favourite ice cream."
Just pulling names out of the air.
Yeah.
I know, but
they thought they were genuine. They were looking for them all over Ireland.
But of course, and then I suppose it's the Irish people that are going in. It's the taste and the sounds of home, the words of home, isn't it?
Yes, of course.
And were you very sort of hands-on in the kitchen?
Oh, yes.
Sean.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Did you seed influence much, or did you have to have your
No,
finger
I was
in every
always
part?
behind the stove. Yeah, always. I just
And you front of house.
ran the shop.
I was the front, yeah. I was more front than the front of a house, yeah.
When did it become apparent that this was not just a restaurant? That this was maybe the go-to place? Maybe when people are heading out, they're nervous, they don't know what's ahead of them, and they say, "Well, we'll go to Mulligan's."
Yeah, well, what year we got there?
2009, we won the best restaurant in Sydney.
Yeah.
And that was from not the Irish community, but the Australian community. And then we realised that, not only just, we had all kinds of people from all walks of life, but of course we always had a great Kate made a fortune for our Irish folks. But also, Greg, over the years, we had christenings. And then we had the Holy Communions. And then we had the pre-wedding. So we got to know these people, and they became like our family away from home. And they treated us the same, and we, it was just the most amazing little tiny little place that only seated 120, but, there was nights we crushed in 160, oh my God.
Yeah, and I would say, too, there were people who were able to stick it out because of having Mulligan's to go to as that sort of base.
Yeah.
On a Sunday morning, we do breakfast, and it was just like a gathering of the Irish. And we'd chat. They had the same table every Sunday morning, and they were all talking to one another. And we're there. We couldn't get them out. 2 o'clock, they're still talking. Yeah.
And like it was their hub coming in and saying, "Oh, hi, Barbara, hi," and it was great. And I used to give out to all the young Irish backpackers because our Irish sausages were imported, and we had it wasn't imported, but they were from an Irish butcher, but they were 3 times the price. And if they left them over with a hangover, I'd go, "Get in there now and eat them sausages. They cost us a fortune." And they called me Mammy Mulligan. Then they said I was like their mammy, only I was in Sydney.
Oh, that's lovely.
Bossing them around, yeah.
But that would have made a lot of mummies happy, to know there was someone else there keeping an eye on them. No doubt about that. So you were able to direct people, support people, offer jobs, all that type of stuff over the years?
Advice, yeah.
And then we did a lot of charity work. We did the Variety Bash for 10 years.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So what was the idea behind that?
We were on a cruise going to
You're
New
allowed
Zealand.
to speak now, Sean. She's letting you speak. Go on.
Yeah, that's right. We were on a cruise around New Zealand on the ship, and this variety package landed on the table. Said, "Let your car make money for kids."
Yeah.
So we came back, and Eileen rang up Stuart. He was there within 2 hours, and he sat down. He says, "Eileen, we're going to Broome this year from Sydney, which is nearly 5,000 kilometres away." And Eileen says, "The only Broome I know is Western Australia." He says, "That's where you're going."
I thought it was like a witch's broom or a Western Australia.
And we drove on the dirt.
Yeah.
And we camped out, and we went to school in the morning and gave out presents, like money vouchers and stuff. But there was nearly 500 people on the trip.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like massive.
And our cars had to be 1956, around that age. And then we had to carry all our clothes. Cause we were leprechauns because we were Irish. And so we had the Leprechauns travelling machine was the name of our car.
What car was it?
It was a 64 Holden.
All right.
And then we dressed up in pyjamas. If the little kids were sick at school and they wanted us all to come in pyjamas, so we dressed up in leprechaun pyjamas, night suits, day suits. So we had loads of different things to bring with us. But we had a great time when we saw.
It must have contributed so much over the decade of doing that.
Well, I think about. Well, I don't want to put a figure on it, but quite a lot of money. Yeah, every year we had a big ball, and everybody supported us.
And did you host that in Mulligan's as well?
No, we hosted that in a big club in Sydney, because we used to have 400 or 500 at that.
All right, so that would be stretching the capacity. It's one thing jamming 160 and 400 might be a different story.
Yeah.
And I don't have the information in front of me. Do you still run the restaurant? Or?
No, we sold it 10 years ago.
Okay.
And we moved. I'll tell you why we did that, Greg. Sean was we were getting busier and busier and busier if possible. And then Sean's father died quite young of a heart attack. And my fear was we were going to, he was going to do the same. But so we sold the restaurant and we moved an hour away into a little village about an hour from Sydney. And we fitted in there very well. But we still do a lot of work for charity. And we still keep up. That's why I'm called Eileen Mulligan on Facebook. Because if I lost that now, I would lose all the contacts for my charity work and all the things we do.
Of course, yeah.
So that's our link to Mulligan's,
Yeah. Sean, would it have been hard for you to sort of step out of the kitchen? Do you know the way that you'd done it for so long? Or even maybe step out of it and let someone else step in? Sometimes it's very hard to walk away from something so passionate.
When I'd done my last meal, I was happy because I left home at 15 to cook. And I still love cooking, But no, the pressure of just the orders, the kitchen, and it got crazy. Like.
But it's hard to switch off from that, from your perspective too. You know,
I haven't switched off. I'm a manager now of a big medical centre, 26 doctors.
I had this idea of you and Sean riding off into the sunset to live in this quiet village.
We took 2 years off or 3.
We took 2 years off and put on a lot of weight and ate a lot of ice cream and watched Downtown Abbey a lot. But then we went back because I couldn't. I missed it so much. So the fact that I'm running this medical centre now and there's 26 doctors and 2 psychologists, 12 nurses and 12 receptionists, and it's 8 to 8 every day. I love it. All
right, stay where you are. I have to take a really short break. I'll be back with more from Eileen and Sean Donaghy. You probably know her as Eileen Mulligan. They are originally from Ballyliffin and Cockhill, but have been 34 years in Sydney running the Mulligans, which became like a hub, a pillar of the Irish community, but also obviously much loved amongst the Australian community as well, award-winning, and became sort of like a hub for the Irish. We'll pick up the story after this quick break.
The county's #1 talk show, The 9 till Noon Show on Highland Radio. The 9 till Noon Show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
At Uisce Éireann, we're upgrading Ireland's water network to ensure a clean, safe and reliable supply for everyone. Sometimes this work can be disruptive. That's why we have a free text alert service providing real-time updates on outages and planned works over 4 hours in your area. So far, over 250,000 people have signed up. Join them and stay informed. Sign up today with your mobile number and air code at water.ie. Uisce Éireann, delivering water services for Ireland.
Túr de bhór náir de bheith léin. Is féidir le seirbhísí bus nascáitiúil TFI atá ar fáil ar fud na tíre, tú a cheangal le réimse lehan choláistí ó cheann na bliana. Sa bháiltar sús le 25 ar hálaí airgid nuair a bhaineann tú leas as do háta lí TFI désaí óga nó de bheith léin. Túr cuairt ar transportforireland.ie. Is sinna Transport for Ireland. Is muid iompar dit.
At Foy's, with expert teams in both Letterkenny and Ballybuffet, we deliver professional interior design and colour consultations for both residential and commercial projects. Whether it's a cosy living room or a full renovation, we offer personalised design advice and premium paint choices tailored to your style. See foys.ie or call in store today to Foy's in Letterkenny or Ballybuffet, and let's bring your vision to life.
Join David James and the Outside broadcast team this Thursday, October 16th, where we'll be at Cairn Spire, Newton Cunningham for the launch of Bravado Coffee, bringing a premium coffee experience that's deliciously different. Enjoy free coffees, treats, giveaways and great crack from 2:30 to 5 p.m. That's this Thursday at Cairn Spire, Newton Cunningham.
The Highland Radio Country Music Weekend is almost here at the Clanry Hotel, Letterkenny, Friday 31st of October and Saturday 1st of November. On Friday night, it's Patrick Finney and his band, then myself, David James and band. Saturday night, enjoy Jordan McPollan, Stacey Breen, followed by Michael English and his band. Spaces are limited, so book yours now at clanryhotel.com or highlandradio.com.
Shekelatha ama Highland Radio. Arna Dortugat ag Airgrid. Uproar agus forbor an go letrahas na Héireann. Airgrid. Pobal a guachtu, era a guachtu. Teshe.
The time is 11:20 now. We are speaking to Eileen and Sean Donaghy. They are recipients of the 2025 Tip O'Neill Irish Diaspora Award. This year's recipients exemplify the diversity impact of Ireland's global community. Danny Hutton, Vincent Keaveney also being celebrated on Friday. Kevin McFadden, good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg.
Okay, Kevin, you know the guys that I have in front of me.
Yes. Sean and I worked together in Runner House Hotel. I was there for 3 or 4 years along with Sean. And I want to congratulate both of them on getting the award, and well deserved. Eileen, I didn't know so well, just met her a few times, but Eileen, the people that I went out to Australia that went with reference from me, and Eileen took charge of them and mothered them and sort of wanted to foster them and keep them out there. and I was delighted for that when they would come home and they'd tell me how well they were looked after by the Donaghys. But Sean was an exceptional chef, and I have a balance sheet, a food balance sheet for the week of January 26, 1981 at Ronra House, and he was the food production was running at 28%. The norm in the industry is 35%. So that is the kind of economic chef that he was, and producing the best of fish, and his duckling was to be sought after all the time.
Well, for the non-chef, that's quite a technical compliment for you, Sean.
Yes, it is. Hi, Kevin. How are you going?
Sean, nice to hear from you, and well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin, for the kind words.
Thanks, Eileen. Sean, I see Daniel listed among your people that visit you and all that, but I remind you that a famous wedding that we had at Ronra, and it's on video there that's picked up all the time by people, and it's of the Undertones, John O'Neill.
Oh, there you go.
And they had their wedding reception at Ronra. And I think he might have been married the same year as you, too.
Yeah, 78.
And, yeah, that's correct. And I met him in the City Hotel some few years ago there, and they came over to speak to me, and they reminded me about their wedding. And I said, are you celebrating 25 years? And he said, exactly today. So that makes them that they were around the same time.
There you go.
And then we had another family in Ronra that occupied table 6 every Sunday, and sometimes during the week. The McDades from Derry, famous John McDade, who's we reared his children as well, and one of them is the famous Johnny McDade of Snow Patrol.
Oh, wow. There you go. Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, go ahead.
Then we had Henry Kelly a couple of times as well.
From Golden for Gold, Henry Kelly. That Henry Kelly.
Henry Kelly of Golden for Gold, yes.
There you go,
yeah.
okay.
And Mr. Coulter.
And
Phil Coulter, right, of course.
And Mr. Coulter, yeah. And of course, your famous sidekick, the pair you used to go to the top of the mountain in those days to do your CB, your famous sidekick, Willie.
Willie
we
Boyce.
remember him at this time. Willie
yeah.
Boyce, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually going down to see him now after the show.
Oh, good. Regards to him then as well.
All right, Kevin, listen, thanks for all the memories. Kevin McFadden there. It's like
Thank you, Kevin.
It's like this is your life. that we never
He's got a good memory.
He has, because I was looking at your face at times. Where's this going? Hello, Greg. Say hello to Sean and his wife, Eileen. Well done to you both from your neighbour, Pat Wanish, Cockhill Park.
Yes, yes.
Oh, lovely.
Wishing you all the very best. Congratulations to Sean and Eileen on their achievement from Kevin and Teresa Cullen. Karen McLaughlin on Facebook. Just brilliant, Eileen Mulligan, Sydney, and Sean John Donoghue. I think they must have tagged you in that comment because that was coming from. What's it feel like to sort of get home and to be honoured by your own community?
Amazing.
Because you are people, obviously, who, you know what you have achieved and where your skills are, right? But you are modest people. And are you able to enjoy this for this wonderful honour that it is?
Yes.
Eileen, what about you?
Greg, I'm just honestly amazed because I'm the youngest of 10 and my dad died when I was 5 months old. Oh. And Mum brought us up and we're a very proud family from Rashini, and my brothers and sisters are just probably in awe of this. And I never expected it, Greg. And we've got 96 coming out to the dinner, family and friends. I've got my school friends, Mary McGuinness and Ellen Ann. From Rashini, I've got neighbours that we had in Kleena and Ballymcgan. We have our friends from all over Australia coming and Ireland.
Oh, wow.
So we're very blessed, Greg, and I don't take this lightly. I mean, this is an amazing thing that happened to us. It's like a dream. I keep thinking I'll wake up and it'll be...
And it's a wonderful award, but look what it's triggered. What an amazing sort of international get together, and being able to to get back to your roots. Sean, what does it mean to you?
Oh, I couldn't believe it when we got the award. I said, Eileen, that's not right.
Someone's taking the hand here.
I said, oh, Eileen, put that in the trash. And next thing, 2 weeks later, we get the call. How come you're not answering your emails? And Eileen says, I think it's a scam. She says, no, it's not a scam. You've won.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, Sean and Eileen. Yes. Well done and well deserved from all in Kinnigo in Buncrana. What do you do now, Sean?
Well, when I retired, I said to Eileen, I always wanted to drive a truck. That was one of my things.
Go on, yeah.
Eileen was going to Ireland. I dropped her at the airport, and I didn't tell her. I said, I booked on a course on truck driving. I said, before you get back from Ireland, I'll be driving a truck. And I did.
I have wee notions of that myself,
And I done a week's course.
Yeah.
And then I got a bus. I was driving one of the tunnels in Sydney for 2 years, taking the guys in and out of the tunnel. Best job ever. Right. Just chatting and no pressure, and just the best, ringing up, Sean, you got to get me out of here. You know what I mean? Great.
Brilliant.
Yeah, well, brilliant. I loved it.
Yeah, just scratched an itch.
Yeah, just totally different career.
Yeah.
And then I moved to the Highlands. I drive a coach down there because there's a lot of wineries there and weddings. So I do weekend work doing weddings and wine tours and stuff. Yeah, love it.
And mixing with the public too, which
it's a well Irish accent down in Australia.
It's an instant hit.
John, tell them who they think you look like. Go on.
Jimmy Barnes.
Do you know Jimmy Barnes, Greg?
Where is he?
He's a Scottish guy, and he's a very famous singer in Australia. Working Class Man is Sean's favourite song, if you want to play it for him.
Which one?
Working Class Man.
That's the different to Working Man, is it?
No, it's Working Class Man. Okay. Jimmy Barnes is a rock and roller from Sydney.
Scotland.
But he's born in Scotland.
Sorry, this is live here. I want to see what it is.
Be good.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to pop this up for those that are watching here now and see if I can go full screen.
And maybe you could play it later on for Sean.
Well, we'll definitely get it. Once
I'm
more
working
interesting.
Class man.
It's not. It's a working man. That's a
no. That's Chris. Is that Christy? No, that's.
There's a few people who've sung that. Yeah. Hey, 1 second. I'll throw this up on the screen. Hey, yes. Let me do side by side.
Do you think Sean looks a bit like him?
I think he looks a lot like him. I think he looks.
He lives in the same
area. And he lives
area.
in the Highlands as well.
There you go. Do you ever get confused in the shop?
Well, we went on a cruise, and these ladies thought I was Jimmy Barnes, and we kept saying, "Are you on stage tonight, Jimmy?"
Yeah, what did you say? Yeah.
And Greg, our youngest son, is with us, right?
Yeah.
To see the award, and everybody thinks he looks like Gordon Ramsay.
Your husband looks like
our youngest son, Shane.
Looks like Gordon Ramsay.
So
your family look like.
In New York, everybody's asking for an autograph.
Really? Oh, now I want to see him as well. Listen, I'm so pleased for you. You're clearly a wonderful couple. I've only just met you now, but you can always tell, can't you? Not great for sitting around either two of you, obviously.
On the move all the time.
Yeah. He is just go.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the way you want it.
Can I make a shout out to Paul McDade?
Whatever you want to do, go ahead.
Paul's from Buncrana. He's got 2 pubs in New York, and he does a lot of work as well for charity.
And I'd like to give a shout out for the Sister Act, who I think are absolutely amazing. And I'm hoping to bring them to Sydney. I'm not going to promise, but I'm going to work hard and tirelessly to bring them to Sydney when I go back to Sydney.
Yeah, Highland hasn't been to Sydney either, by the way, just saying.
Hello.
Highland in the Highlands.
Highland,
it sells itself.
You
just get the flight sponsored, I'll do the rest.
Okay.
Congratulations to Sean and Eileen from the Kerry family in Slavery. Please say a big congratulations to Sean and Eileen from another Ranera House worker back in the day. Best wishes from Rosemary Coyle, Callahan, Robert.
Yes.
Lovely people.
Okay, so these are memories coming in left, right and centre. This is for Sean and Eileen. We arrived in Sydney with $100 in our pockets after backpacking through Asia in the summer of 1994. I'd worked with Sean in the lake in 1991 and had his number. We called and asked if we could stay, and they put us up, gave me a job, helped us find accommodation and even furnished it. We are forever grateful as they set us on our path and kept us safe in the beginning. They truly deserve this award, helping us and so many along the way. Tracy and Eric Paris.
Oh, lovely. Oh, hi, Tracy and Eric. Oh,
hi,
my
Tracy.
God.
There you go. Is their surname Paris or are they in Paris?
They're in Paris.
Oh, they are in Paris.
They're in
okay,
Paris,
very good.
Oh, lovely.
Isn't that lovely?
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I think really that has summed up kind of what I was trying to get at for the last half hour, what you did over there and why this is such an amazing award, whilst doing the charity work, whilst running a business, while raising a family, but still having the time to do what you did. Great to see you both from Dan, Joe and Rosemary in Redcastle.
Oh, bless. Hello, Dan, Joe and Rosemary.
Best of luck to you both from Patricia and Cecilia Douglas, a great couple.
Another, yes.
And on it goes. So there's more and more coming in. People are watching you and listening.
Yes.
And
thank you very
and what
much.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Very
Enjoy
well.
Friday. It's going to be just a wonderful thing on
Yes.
so many levels. The honour, but also the coming together.
Can we just
with
give a
people.
shout out to our son who can't come because he got a big promotion at Qantas, and he's in Sydney. So I'd like to say, Stephen, darling, and
Rebecca.
my granddaughter's going to be 17 tomorrow in Sydney. Grace, and Ethan and Jamie.
How long
Love
have
you
been-
to the
how-
moon and back.
How long have you been married now?
49 years coming.
Yeah, I'm doing the maths here and it doesn't make sense.
I was 17.
Yeah.
Darling was 21.
Okay, still
have
you
the
don't look like you could have got married. Whatever they put in the water in Sydney,
Still
you
think-
look fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, enjoy. It's
Thank you,
great.
Thank you so much, Greg.
Thank you
And
very
it's
much.
lovely to honour
Thank
people
you,
when they're
everyone.
alive and healthy and happy,
Yes,
isn't
I
it? That you're here for this rather than us doing it if you weren't. All right, enjoy it. Thanks so
Thanks
much for
so much,
calling in.
Greg.
It's been lovely having you in. That is the recipients, joint recipients, let's not forget, of the 2025 Tip O'Neill Irish Diaspora Awards. The awards are at the Inishowen Gateway Hotel in Buncrana on Friday, of course, and they join the likes of Danny Hutton, Vincent Keaveney in being 2025 recipients, and very, very deserving.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
Friday, October 24th is polling day in Ireland's presidential election. So find out about the candidates and be ready to make your choice. Your vote is your voice. So don't let others speak for you. Mark the date or set a reminder and be a voter on October 24th. From An Comisiún Thábháin, Ireland's Independent Electoral Commission.
Ireland's move to a cleaner energy future is happening right beneath your feet. With a gas network that's carrying more renewable gas, bringing you more sustainable energy in an easy, reliable way. Gas Networks Ireland, moving Ireland's energy.
Across the supermarket aisle, your eyes meet, and you just know this is the real deal. Food that makes you go, drinks that make you feel, ooh. That's the power of Love Irish food brands. Local brands, made with devotion, enjoyed with passion.
You feel the power of love.
Of Love Irish food.
You feel the power of love.
Look for Love Irish food on pack.
Can you feel it?
Shower, teeth, clothes, coffee, keys, car, drive, work. Shower, teeth, clothes, coffee, keys, car, drive, work. Shower, teeth, clothes, coffee, keys, car, drive, truck! You never know what's coming. Slow down on rural roads. A message from the Road Safety Authority. Visit rsa.ie.
It's CFC Interior's 50th anniversary, and we're marking the milestone with our biggest ever sale, the Furniture Show NI 50th edition. Get bigger discounts, more offers and giveaways across all departments. Only at CFC Interiors, Campsie, Derry, Cookstown and Abbey Centre. Hurry, the Furniture Show NI 50th edition sale is now on.
Hey, got some old household electrical appliances or batteries lying around? Recycle them for free with We Ireland in partnership with Donegal County Council at our special collection day on Saturday 18th of October in Killybegs at the Shore Road car park from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We'll accept anything household with a plug or battery. See weeireland.ie.
Carrickdon in Buncrana is turning 2. Join Sam and all the team to celebrate with a VIP event this Thursday with MC Mickey Doherty, fashion shows, fundraising and lots of fun. Doors open from 6 p.m. Enjoy 20% off full price stock plus up to 50% off special offers until Sunday. Join the team in celebrating Carrickdon Buncrana this weekend.
All right, thanks again to Sean and Eileen for calling in for a chat, and great reaction to that as well, which is brilliant. Now, National Women's Enterprise Day is this Thursday, the 16th of October, with Local Enterprise Office Donegal hosting an evening event at the Mount Errigal Hotel, Letterkenny, from 5:30 p.m. until 9:30 p.m. Brenda Hegarty is Head of Enterprise with the local enterprise office in Donegal. Good morning to you, Brenda. How are you getting on?
Good morning, Greg. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Right. So talk about.
Thanks for having me.
No, it's our pleasure. Talk to us about the local acknowledgement of National Women's Enterprise Day.
Yeah, well, the National Women in Enterprise Day is a national event, the biggest female entrepreneur event across Ireland. It's happening on October the 16th, which is Thursday. And there is 18 events right across Ireland, and we're hosting a event here in Donegal, as you say, in the Mount Erical on Thursday evening at 5:30. We have a great lineup of speakers.
Yeah, talk to us about the speakers.
So our MC for the evening is Orla Hassan, and Orla has just returned to Donegal after over 20 years in Spain, and she's a transformational motivational coach. And then we're joined, our keynote speaker is Tessa Breslin, and again, Tessa has worked with Fortune 500 leaders across America and has just returned during COVID to Ireland. And Tessa will bring her psychology and leadership consultancy to her keynote address. And then we have a great panel. We have Sally Murphy, who is the president of Donegal Women in Business, Olivia Finney, who from New Kid Coffee, and Olivia is actually our female ambassador this year, and then Caroline McLaughlin, who is an executive director with Morgan Stanley.
Given the wealth of experience and talent there, I'd imagine anyone at any level of business would get something from this event. You know, whether you are leading out a very successful company or perhaps at the beginning of a project.
Exactly. So the female entrepreneurship, this is all about encouraging more females to think and start small businesses, or those that are already in business. Then it's an opportunity for networking, to hear inspiring speakers, and really connect into the local enterprise office and hear about the support that is available from the local enterprise office all year round, whether that's funding, mentoring, training. So it's a great opportunity to network and learn what is available, and again hear from those inspirational speakers.
Yeah, and I've heard of countless stories of people attending events like this and the networking that comes from it, whether it's exchanging of advice, opportunities, collaborations, whatever it might be. Brenda, just curious how we are performing in this county, because we've got some amazing business leaders who are women. We've got amazing organisations that advocate and represent women in business that seem very active all of the time. Obviously, I'm overexposed to what's happening in Donegal, but are we punching above our weight, I wonder, on a national level?
Yes, we believe we are. The local enterprise office in Donegal has a particular focus on female entrepreneurship, and it's not just on this day of National Women in Enterprise Day. We have a range of supports. We have a dedicated award-winning, actually, Chambers Ireland recognised it nationally as a great programme. It's our Ambition programme. We're currently in the 5th year of that programme, and this is where we bring 17 business female leaders in the room on a pre-accelerator in terms of looking at how they can start and grow businesses from the county that have global ambition. Again, we see the dial moving. Now, we are not fully there in terms of an equity male-female, but we are seeing more and more females starting and growing businesses from the county.
And the local enterprise office, and to be honest with you, I've learned as much about it on the Business Matters podcast as anywhere else at all. You do amazing work, the level of supports that are there, at the beginning. And sometimes that support might be, maybe that's not a fantastic direction to go in or whatever it might be, But I think we're lucky to have the Donegal office, because I hear nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, well, thank you. So there's a great team in the local enterprise office. And even just from the beginning, in terms of just connecting in, maybe with our Start Your Own Business program, which allows you to think about setting up a business and maybe get the initial tools that is necessary for considering how you go about setting up a business. Then we have a range of training. We have a mentoring program where an expert mentor can be assigned, whether you're only starting in business or you're already in business, and you may have a particular challenge, maybe in finance or HR, or looking at new markets. We have a range of sustainability supports if you're looking at climate change and transitioning your business to being more carbon neutral. And digitalization and automation is so important now in how you can bring new technology into the business. And again, we have a range of supports for that.
All right.
And then on top of that, if you're in manufacturing or you're trading internationally, we have supports for purchasing new equipment, employing new staff. So a wide range of supports available through the local enterprise office. So
all right. It's
you're
brilliant to have that.
in
Yep.
business
or male.
or anybody in business.
Okay, right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we're open to everybody in
All right.
business, starting or growing. So there's a great range of supports.
Yep, and
We
we'll
have an
return.
information session.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us that. Sorry. No, go ahead. This is a tiny wee
Yeah,
delay
we
on
have
the
an
phone line. My apologies. Go ahead.
That's okay. So we have an information session every 2 weeks, so online and in person. So it alternates between that. So our next in-person information session will actually be in Carndonagh on the 24th of October, and then there'll be an online one in 2 weeks after that. So that's a great way to link in and hear what is available through the local enterprise office.
Okay.
And indeed, all of our supports, and to book our National Women in Enterprise Day on Thursday is available through our website, localenterprise.ie/Donegal.
All right, that answers my final question then. We're talking about the National Women in Enterprise Day Donegal. It's marked by a special event in the Mount Errigal Hotel with a plethora of brilliant speakers. 5:30 to 9:30. There are still then spaces available. Go through the Leo Donegal website, yeah?
Yes, that's true. And the opening is an actual facilitated networking session by Miranda Rosenberg. And Miranda brings great energy to any event. So, and there will be food, there'll be networking, there'll be a bit of fun, and there'll be serious topics discussed. So it's a great opportunity. Anybody who has been there before, or if it's new, please do think about coming along on Thursday evening. Now, spaces are limited, so I'd encourage people to get on and book as soon as they can.
All right, thanks so much, Brenda. Thanks for talking more generally as well about Leo. Look after yourself. Brenda Hegarty there, Head of Enterprise with the Local Enterprise Office, Donegal.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Mary here from the cosmetic department at McGee's Chemist to let you know that Loncome have a great beauty gift available here this week. Buy 2 Loncome products, want to be skincare, and you'll get a free 7-piece gift of your choice of either Renergy or Hydroscent travel size creams and more iconic Loncome products. This offer is available until Saturday the 11th of October, or while stocks last. Some T's and C's apply. For any skincare advice, you can always talk to myself or any staff member here at McGee's Chemist, Main Street, Letterkenny.
As a parent, you always remember the little things, but don't forget the bigger ones. When it comes to child safeguarding, do you know who to speak to in your child's school and clubs?
Under Children First, all organisations working with children and young people need to have strong measures in place to safeguard children. To learn more about Children First, visit gov.ie/Children First.
We were all children once. Now we are Children First. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
October Spectaculars at Crawford Tiles Castlefin. 1200 by 600 porcelain tiles from €24.99. AC4 wood flooring $14.99. Pacific 6mm shower doors from $220. Thermal showers $149. LED mirrors $149. And freestanding baths €756. That's Crawford Tiles Castlefin. 91433942.
Keep out the cold, cold, cold! And ring Fleming for their full range of garage doors, agri doors, insulated doors, milking parlour doors. Fleming, 91 48 234.
This week, Highland Motors are going the extra mile by offering 0% finance or a €250 service voucher on all pre-owned cars. It's for 2 weeks only, and there's up to €5,000 in savings on certain models. That's until Friday, October the 24th at Highland Motors in Letterkenny on all pre-owned cars. Some terms and conditions apply. See the selection available at Highland Motors or call the sales team on 912877.
Highland Radio weather updates with Michael Hennies. Our Christmas shop has now opened for all your festive shopping needs. Explore our extensive range of decorations, bedding and more in our homeware department, in-store or shop online at michaelhennies.com today.
Okay, what is the weather forecast? It's sometimes we get a weather forecast for all of Ulster, and then sometimes we get the local weather forecast from Metarin. But today, it's this afternoon, it's going to be mostly dry. There might be a few bright intervals. Temperatures 12 to 13 degrees. Did you know, you talk about the money that goes in the budget, did you know that Metarin received €82 million for budget 2026? 82 million. I don't know how much I thought it would cost to run Metarin, but I didn't have it at 82 million. And that's a 42 million increase in capital expenditure. They're going to put in new rain monitoring stations, flood warning systems. So I suppose, hey, if that stuff comes to pass, it's good. But this is only monitoring equipment. €82 million to Metarin in budget 2026. Anyway, Liam Mulligan's with me. Hi, Liam.
Morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm good. You're talking to us about your experience out on the roads. Pick up the story there.
Okay, it's just did the normal school run this morning at a normal time, except it took me 15 minutes to get from the County Museum to the hospital roundabout, which is not very far, to say the least. So it's about 1 or 2 kilometres per hour, which is much worse. So sort of a Dublin speed at Christmas rather than anything else. You know, it does seem to be roadworks, but the issue that I was really raising is what are the roadworks for and what is the final outcome of the roadworks?
Are you saying, is this a sampler menu of what the roads might be like full-time after the roadworks have completed?
Yeah. They took the right turn lane into St. Connell's out. You know, the traffic going into St. Connell's could come over and get out of the way of the main line of traffic up to now, but taking that lane out, they have to wait in the main line of traffic before they can turn right into St. Connell's. And this is what's probably causing the hold-up. And the question is, okay, traffic works are works and you just have to put up with them. But the idea here is to put in cycle lanes up this steep hill. And does this mean these right turn lanes are gone forever?
Well,
and
how
therefore
could there be,
this is what the traffic's going to be like forever?
How could there be
there's no room?
Yeah, how could there be accommodated if you're putting in a cycle lane? You've got the foot traffic as well. You've got 2 lanes of traffic.
Yeah.
Where is the space for a turning lane?
Exactly. Then this is the problem. I mean, has this been thought through? Why has there been a choice to put a cycle lane in like this in this place? And the policy issues, and you know. It's also a question of local priorities. There are a series of locations around Letterkenny, and I'm sure there's plenty around the county, where we need to do roadworks to make the area safer. But for all sorts of reasons, these works are not being done. The one I raise is out in the Old Town at what we would call the hideout corner in previous days. Where it's people coming walking down Lismonaghan or down Rann or even the cars. And it's a very, very difficult corner. But because it's in the plan for the Leck Road, or the Southern Network as it's now called, for the last 20 years, nothing has been done. And nothing will be done for another 20 years, possibly, as well, if we look at the rate these big projects go ahead at. But that is an immediate safety project that we could do immediately and help people immediately. So the question that is arising is, why are we spending money
because
in this particular way?
There was an active travel fund that was there. that's a standalone fund that couldn't be spent on the hideout corner, and we applied for that and we got it, and now we're implementing it. It's a different tranche of funding, Liam, I presume is the answer.
Yeah, that will be the answer. There is a budget for this, and there's not a budget for safety. And the budget is handed out by the Custom House or by the Department of Transport. And it's, where is the discretion that our council and our councillors can say, look, yeah, active travel is great, we want to go with it, but we also have safety issues that we've got to solve. Where is the safety budget gone? And that's the sort of question, the discretion. I mean, it's like, it sounds very much like what Leo Varadkar said to Mayo County Council when they upset him. He told them to shut up and do what they were told because their money came from Dublin, which means you put in an application for a budget and you get no money outside that budget. So even if you have local priorities, you're not getting the money for the local priorities. And that's the issue. And we have to face active travel is fine, but that's a 4 or 5% gradient on that hill up the mountain top. So you're training Sean Kelly's. You're training future
I can tell you one person.
The mountain.
I can tell you one person that will never cycle up that hill. And you're talking to him. And the funny thing is, and it's not even funny, there's still going to be electric scooters going down on the road when they should be on the footpath. There's going to be people cycling down the wrong side of the road. And, I've seen active travel in Dublin and elsewhere, and it's chaos. It's not, people don't use it as it's designed to be used. But listen, I'm an old fart, so maybe there's a new generation of people coming through that this is the future. The just general consensus from what I've heard is that people believe the broader infrastructure of travelling to or around Letterkenny needs to be done before the active travel stuff is done. That we're putting the cart before the horse. And I just hope we're not going to end up paying the prices as commuters and motorists and people on school runs, Liam.
Effectively, they are increasing emissions by active travel. Rather than decreasing emissions, they are effectively increasing emissions because they're not looking at local circumstances. They're looking at budgets. Mind you, I do commend some of the people in our council for their enterprise in adapting budgets. I thought it was a good one, that apartment block almost up on the mountain top that had defective blocks, that they were managed to get a budget to replace it under the urban renewal scheme, which is supposed to be for renewing the urban core, whereas that is actually outside the
I don't know
bypass route.
Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of that, but anyway, I get where you're coming from.
The council.
Yep.
The council can adapt, but this element of budgets controlled centrally and priorities centrally is a problem. And I just wanted to raise it because the possibility that this is not just a question of hold-ups that are going to happen for the length of the roadworks. This may be what we're facing.
This is the future of moving around.
Future.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll try and get some clarity on that. Thanks, Liam. Liam Mulligan there. I don't have the ins and outs of that active travel plan or the programme of works or the lane reductions. What I will do is actually brief myself on that a little later on today and run through it, because there are maps available and stuff, because I want to be better informed, because I feel it is going to be a hot topic. Why, Corley says it's one sentence, why is the council putting in these stupid cycle lanes that aren't ever used? Yeah. The funny thing is cyclists that sort of dress up in the outfits and all, they want to be on the roads because their bikes aren't built for the cycle lanes with little stones and sharing them with pedestrians and all that kind of stuff. So who is it for? I don't know. On the issue of offering people come to this country 10 grand to leave, I cannot see how the offer of money to leave the country is going to work, because even if someone takes the money and returns home, what's to stop them from returning and getting a second or third payout? We cannot positively identify these people, and this will become a very profitable business for criminals. That was my concern, but there's a cut-off. So now, unless a new scheme was opened, you couldn't leave and come back in. You have to have arrived in the country before a certain date, and I made the mistake of concerning myself with that. That being said, there could be another scheme down the line they could eventually avail of. I don't know, but the time where you had to have arrived into the country was before the scheme was announced, presumably to avoid that kind of exploitation. In relation to drugs, a caller believes it's nothing more than a publicity stunt by Gardaí. They can't even have a patrol car in some of these coastal areas. Putting a 10-year ban on immigrants being paid to return home, there should not be a 10-year stay on it. It should be a lifetime ban on returning. Okay. Back to drugs. Don't know how they're going to seal the coastline when they can't put one guard on the streets of Letterkenny at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night. Easier for farmer now to buy a bale of coke rather than a bale of hay. I suppose you have to do something, though, and on it goes. Listen, thank you so much for all of your comments. Thank you so much for listening. We're going to be back to do it all again tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. But for me, Greg Hughes, and the team of Caroline Orr researching and producing, assisted by Shannon Wilkins, have